I got to go to 2 national championships with my Apex team and will forever just have those amazing memories of practicing and playing with them. I feel like casting for PIEA is really cool to just see the stories, where casting sports, it's a lot different. You're casting Division 1 athletes, everybody knows who they are, whereas PIEA, I mean, it's just students playing video games, and you get to tell their story, and just saying their name and seeing their energy at the LANs is super cool. I would say just have fun, live in the moment. It feels like every so often things are going to change in esports, and that can come more rapid than some would like. So just be ready for anything, and esports will throw everything at you, so try out everything new.
I am Sir Pegasus, and I am a Rocket League caster. I started casting about 2 years ago. I think it's a little bit less than that for a European league called RSCEU. And I said in chat something like, get me on there, I'll see what I can do. It wasn't me being toxic, but I was being a little bit annoying. And then I got sent a Discord link and they were like, sure, do it. And found that I actually really enjoyed it. So I've got a lot to thank RSCEU for, and Archeon especially.
How many resets was this one? One core I believe that's a stall. He gets the second and then finds the target.
PIEA overall is something that I am so jealous of. The opportunity for middle schoolers and high schoolers to be in a competitive league with such a good system behind it. LANs as well is just unbelievable. The online space, the internet, and especially gaming spheres typically have a bad reputation. There can be some toxic people in this space, but truthfully, I feel like this all was a very big positive to my life overall. When I first started casting, I really wasn't in a good mental space myself. It is a positive area of the internet, and it's exactly what it needs overall to create some fantastic talents, even if they are led outside of the online space. My biggest advice for esports actually applies to quite a lot of things in life, and the truth is, you're bad at things before you're good at them. And listen, that can be difficult to go through that starting period. Take that time to go through the rough beginning and find some friends to make it easier if it is possible, because honestly, the payoff is worth it for when you get to do your passion for a lot more hours of the day.
Other than DPS Diff, deserved, will pick up the play of the game. It was early on this second map, and the ability to slice and dice through multiple members picked up that triple kill.
They all piled up in one spot, and Peanut Butter said that's absolutely perfect. Pops the ult, makes sure that even though United were kind of losing the fight there, they were able to use that ultimate to keep everybody off and just go from 99 to 100 without any contention. Really nice play of the game here from Inferno. Those deep.
Instantly, you can try to prevent them from coming back, but here comes the Riptire. Who's it get?
And gets almost everybody.
Most decisive victory I think we've seen on a control point so far today. Penn Trafford inspired by their success in the first capture to what could easily be argued with an otherwise.
So Leaf goes up to the sky, doesn't have anyone looking at him. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. You combine that with the fact that they I was going to say had some momentum going. Maybe they could grasp this point, but Angus instead just goes absolutely crazy with the ult.
2 minutes here on the clock. That 1-goal lead. Will it stand, or will Cold as Ice be able to bully his way through? No, Andrew Carvalho able to save that one away.
Oh, and this clear will actually find its way to the back of the net. Andrew has been popping off with these on-target balls, whether it's right in front of the net or away from the deep end.
And Loaf on the ball now will try and 1v3 the defense and is successful. 2-1 Boyertown.
The big booming clear. This is going to eat up a ton of time off the clock. It's an awkward bounce off the crossbar, and Pig B will put the final dagger in the coffin here for game number 2. We'll see if that first goal can be that little spark to ignite the fire, as we like to say. Panda fires a banger, and that one's going to find the back of the net as well.
The equalizing goal, it comes down to these 19 seconds to decide if someone wants to push ahead before regulation ends. This is a great kickoff, actually, from West Allegheny, and they'll come up with the goal.
So I am Hot Sauce. I am a caster here at TEC and many other places as well. I've been gaming since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. It was a great way for me to meet other like-minded people and friends in that gaming world as well. I've been casting for about 5.5 to 6 years now. So I was casting over a Counter-Strike game, and an org happened to see me, and they invited me on to cast with them. It's been an interesting journey. Certainly not an easy one, but a very fun one.
With a molly in hand, Dyrod with a jumping shot finds 3. My, oh my!
So I've been lucky enough to cast some like bigger things like RLCS and TwitchCon, but I think one of my favorite things about casting the high school series is when you go to these LAN events, just to see how much the kids and everybody appreciates what we do, I think has really been a game changer for me, because I have kids as well. So it's great to see that so many young students now have an additional opportunity to better themselves along the way, and even look for other opportunities, whether it be college scholarships or, you know, behind or on and off the scenes. If I had to give some advice, it would be don't be afraid to ask questions. You're not always going to get the answer that you want. I got some advice that I maybe didn't think was good, so I didn't use it, but you have to have an open mind. If it's something that you're passionate about and you truly love doing, you know, surround yourself with like-minded people who enjoy the same things, look to grow and get better together. There's going to be things along the way that are tough to deal with, that knock you down, that might be discouraging, but specifically here at TEC, I've had the pleasure of meeting a lot of the coaches and teachers. They genuinely care about each and every one of their students. So they have a really good support system out there. You know, make sure you use it.
Trying to stall for his team to break it, and they do! PD played that so smart! Waiting for his team, I mean, just the coordination so clean, and that's going to be a 3-piece.
Wow, what a 3-piece there from PD. You mentioned the teamwork to make the dream work.
Sabre will fall to 2-1, but it was a hard-fought battle. They need to hold their heads high here, because they did a great job against Pam Manor, battling back with the play of the game, and most likely your MVP of the whole day. Shoot him right here. Once more, finding the 2-piece off the back of the alt, hunting down a third.
They can't kill the subs. They lose a fight. They have to reset. They manage to get back in. Slenderman makes a massive play, finds 3 off of railgun shots, and again, just cannot finish the Ramatra.
surprisingly, and just with another play of the game, someone that we've just seen doing such a great job in the front, and yeah, I'll feel understandable.
An understandable final ultimate here, and an understandable team kill.
They were already going to win it with the other ult. It would be a really nice one to have in the back pocket to secure an ultimate. Speaking of ultimates, VR Master up high, going to drop that barrage and make sure that fight ends quickly. Finds 4, maybe a 5th. It does get deflected for the moment, but it is going to be 5.
Comes right off the backboard. A save needs to be made, but who's been the king of the skies? The one to have that dominant elevated play style. It's Will.
There hasn't been direct pressure on net until now, where Johnny 2 Techie puts the opening goal in.
Johnny 2 Techie with a name change as well. It was literally Johnny forever, but Johnny 2 Techie, he said he's leveling up.
Pass from Frosty to T-Stray to back to Frosty to T-Stray. It's this 1-2-1-2. Might be able to finish the run, sealing it down. Neon Nix will get there before Frosty calls him off. And that's 4 in a row to get the lead in game 3.
And it's actually even better than any of the plays before. Neeks goes high for it, taps it down off the undercarriage of the car.
That's kind of why that's like that, but you know, heading over to the Rocket League needs no introduction. It's Nitric, everybody.
That is dirty. What? Flip reset double tap? Are you
going on, but Clucky's complimenting it, but the Meg could still win it. A flick is on target, and the Meg takes the lead right back. Ferretto win it after conceding with 4 seconds left. They scoop up the kickoff and take game 1.
Here at Mountain Esports, we take it to the next level. Our players have the ability to travel, compete, and even participate on the caffeine committee. Check out the Insta to see what's new with Mountain Esports today.
At the Mount, things are, well, elevated. And it's not just because we're on a mountain. The experience at a small college like Mount Aloysius is actually personal. The faculty and staff know my goals. It's a level of support you won't find at other colleges. And the Mount backs it up with career-focused partnerships and majors. As soon as I visited, it just felt like home. That's what makes this place different. Makes college elevated. Mount Aloysius College.
Kristoff is here. Kristofo can sniff them out, spots the first, denies the defuse, gets the second, the 3K found here. They fall it back into their favor. Lauderdale slays on the spike and gets sprayed down.
Gotcha. A chance to get onto site. That's a big flashpoint. Oh, but it's just a little diffy there between the two breaches. Aftershock forcing them upwards, and he is dividing and conquering out of K-Blob.
That is a free of charge tutorial on how to use Breach's utility.
Last player standing. I'm back. Spike down B.
We'll find that one. The tactic to Mezzo, that's the quad. For another ace.
It's dangerous to say. Silverwolf though was not ready. Mesa with another ace.
The spike spike down, numbers in favor of South Fayette. And again, it's just Matcha, but Matcha has been fun to watch. There we go again. That's 2 foul, and Matcha cleans it up. That's an ace clutch.
They lost one of their openers, but that door opening up means Aquados is going to find at least one before falling around. Fixing actually helped out. What some taps!
Hello, folks. Welcome into another day of Marvel Rivals here on PIEA. It's going to be a fun one today. A couple of best of threes on the docket. We'll make sure we get you through all the action. I am Spaceman. That is Cherry. Joined me today. Very excited to talk about it. Week 2. A couple of best of threes. Cherry, welcome in. First, how you doing? Second, what are you expecting from today's matches?
I mean, I expect these to be some close games all across the board. We have 3 games right up ahead of us, maybe 2, possibly, but for sure we're going to get some good Marvel Rivals action within our PIA week number 2 of this spring or fall season of the 2025-2026 school year. So, Spaceman, I'm certainly thinking that these 2 teams we got right ahead of us are going to be one of the more popular teams to start off our day, and that's going to be looking towards the western stage of PA, Ferndale versus McDowell High School. So an interesting matchup for sure in Division 1 of Marvel Rivals. We'll see what they are going to be able to bring us, but you have any thoughts on this?
A little. Looking to yesterday, I'm going to quickly jog my own memory here. We were able to watch on the PIEA stream Waynesburg versus Russell Sage University. This was indeed Division 2, but it was a range of players from quite literally high bronze all the way to Eternal. So one, now that we jump up to a different division, D1, I expect that we won't have that wide of a range, so we should have a bit more structure in our games, which should be nice. But I think we're gonna kind of settle into a nice little simple meta today of no triple strategists. I don't expect a lot of changes in the tanks. I think we're going to be looking at Venom, Magneto, Strange, kind of rounding out that main roster, potentially Emma, and then you're going to be seeing Mantis bans today for sure. Yesterday we had a couple of bans on Scarlet Witch in our picks and bans phases, which didn't make a whole lot of sense early. I'm sure there was some reason behind it, but in this one, it's usually going to come down to just how the strategist difference looks, and I expect that to be a result here.
And we are going to be seeing pretty similar comps from both sides. I like the Jeff the Shark getting picked out. Definitely a stronger support character right now. The ultimate certainly could be interesting when it comes to some of these points where you're really going to have that capability to find success and get those triple kills possibly. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have in store for us. I know McDowell, certainly a strong team when it comes to the Valorant season. So let's see whether or not they can transfer those gun skills, bring them into Marvel Rivals. Ferndale, haven't seen a whole ton of them this year, but I'm certainly going to be looking for them to start off on the strong foot as we're getting straight on into game number 1 as Spaceman. I like this. I like this a lot. I don't know what you think of these compositions, but personally I think it's pretty evened out, pretty well-rounded for both teams.
No, absolutely. I mean, like, I'm always going to say I never want to see Jeff ever again, but that's not fair because he's going to be in every game. But I have to respect it across the board. I was a little concerned for McDowell to begin. Was wondering how the res comp might look. If you are playing Adam Warlock, usually you'd like to follow in with an Angela in terms of front line for your Vanguard. But again, you get shovability with Magneto, you get portals quickly, and a lot of tempo setting with Strange. This should be a fairly even match across the board as we begin our first fight.
And McDowell, they're unfortunately already going to be dropping down player. Blaze going to be able to pick up 1. Pixie Sticks taking a second as McDowell really going to drop a couple players off the board. And as of now, Ferndale's going to be taking a pretty big advantage. McDowell going to have to wait for the respawns, but the aggressive stance gets taken as a lot of players are going to start getting a little bit of pressure taken. Ferndale's just being the team being very proactive right now.
They're going to stack up towards ceiling. I mean, this is one of those areas that you would really rely on your duelist to kind of lead the charge here, open up the conversation. Groot, of course, can kind of zone like we've seen before, but this is shooting fish in a barrel. It just comes down to, again, corralling the rest of those numbers into the same spot they've had before for McDowell High School. It's been about trying to bully their way through the front, and for Ferndale, they've taken all the space on the points to allow their tanks to get comfortable. Easy heals, easy time, 40% already charged on the first tick, and this is Ferndale's map so far.
Ferndale playing smarter, not harder, just being a bit of a nuisance. The Lorax is going to be able to pick up another kill onto the Mad Lad. Another one's going to be there. Unfortunately, their Jeff is going to fall down. Lemock's going to be the one, Lehman taking them offline. And as of now, Ferndale's just keeping this up. They're already past that 50% mark, and you were kind of right on point with the shooting fish in the barrel. They're very good at isolating their targets, as we can see once more, as their Iron Fist is just putting in the damage.
And yesterday, for a lot of the matches, it was race for strategists to get ults, and we understand that ult charges may be the main conversation for most teams, but there were a little bit of separations in the margins between what will your duelists look like, what could you potentially find if you switch to someone like an Iron Fist, how could you kill fights better. This is one of those instances where if your Iron Fist is roaming and comfortably so, there is no need to change the comp. You've been able to control the line of sight, that 50-yard line, especially when it comes to maintaining your ults. And this is a moment where all you have to do is just play the fight, the wall-to-wall fights, as I would say, team fights on the point for Ferndale, and they find 3 extras as well, 95%. This should be a pretty easy pick for them in an opening round that was relatively uncontested.
Ferndale with all ultimates online, not going to have to invest any, so coming into round number 2, they will have that on the docket. And yeah, McDowell, they dropped in their Jeff ult, so it is a little bit unfortunate, the investment going to be there, but it's as you said, these ultimates don't matter as much. We're going to be swapping points now, as we already see Ferndale putting up a very dominant, swiftly done point number 1, as 100-0, certainly looking like they are going to be the team to beat.
That does scare me a little going into round 2 of, we have 6 ults, we can just overwhelm you. Now, granted, you could stun with the Eye of Agamotto, maybe get lucky with a Magneto Meteor M, try to find Jeff or a Luna to take off the Fate of Both Worlds. But this does feel like 1.5 team fights leads to everybody blow what you got. Ferndale could just simply overwhelm the point to begin. We'll find out, but this is a big round for McDowell High School. I know we still have a second game in this best of 3, potentially 2 more to go, but to get into that first round and really struggle to even contest, if not flip, it's going to be a tough one going into the second time.
It really will be, but we will have to wait and see. McDowell, this is that chance, reset and restart. We'll see whether or not they're going to be able to show us a little bit different plays, as the last game certainly did not go their way. They were kind of just getting isolated one by one, and Ferndale was just very good at capitalizing each and every time. You really got to give it to Pixie Sticks as well, playing that really just 1v1 potential in characters, and we already see the fight enacted as lots of damage going to come in. The Jeff ult's going to be able to pick up 2, but a 3K comes in.
Wow.
Pixie Sticks picks up a 4th, and yeah, McDowell going to be looking very, very different this time.
You live and die by the Blitz. That's high risk, high reward on the Strange Portal. And if you're not lucky, you have to fly off spawn all the way back to the zone. That's an extra 20 seconds and a lot of map positioning for McDowell that they're going to have to work back from. This is a small instance where, you know, if you're just trying to win the ult charge outright, maybe you want to hold on to that Strange Portal a little bit longer. We'll see what the Kraken Impact can find on point. The strategists are just sitting still. That's a dangerous spot to be in, but Bucky does get punched for the over-aggression.
It's looking very, very good. We'll see whether or not they'll be able to keep up this point, but already we take a look towards this Magneto, trying to just hold this point to their own, but the damage is looking to be very nice, as they are going to get a little bit of healing, dropping in the damage. We take a look. Pixie Sticks playing super aggressive, but the shielding is going to be coming onto them, so they are going to get away and have a little bit of a get out of jail free card. But as of now, we see the Doctor Strange maneuvering forwards, but McDowell, they have to push back a little bit as they get this pressure conceded.
You just gotta get through Magneto. That's your win con right now. Again, you do have res comp. It's more of a last-ditch effort than it is an opening instigation. But again, if your duelists aren't able to really clear up that front line, this is a long day in the office. Here comes the res, 66% in counting, but not a lot of movement found on the map. Not a lot of positioning here, nor real estate to work through. 75% closing in. Jeff trying to get aggressive. Final judgment. Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
Certainly looking good for the side of McDowell, but right now they are going to be down and out once more. Ferndale, they've been very strong when it comes to being able to keep up this aggression. I believe the overlay switched a little bit, but we take a look at Blaze going to be pushing in on line. Pixie Sticks going to be able to find the first, and the second is going to be found for Pixie Sticks. As they keep on going, we're taking a look at Blaze going to be having to deal with this thing, and right now they're just trying to stall at this point. Longer and longer players flood back on, and Spaceman, it seems like this game might just be done and dusted.
Yeah, this was just, when is he going to pop the final judgment? There it is. GG's on the point for map number 1. A little bit of a siphon work, staggered push from McDowell. They had no choice. And again, that kind of calls back into earlier the investment in the Strange Portal so early into the round. It's a valiant effort. It is a live and die by the Blitz for sure. Taking a page out of the playbook of Ferndale. But if you don't convert it into either a retake or just simply more positioning on the map, you do run back into the problem of now we have to fight wall-to-wall team fights with low ult and not a lot of coverage. And unfortunately for them, it was just too much to handle as the final judgment ended that one quickly. Game 1 goes to Ferndale. That was pretty quick. I mean, we've seen games before be one-sided, but it really felt like once Ferndale had their ults and had their setup on zone, they were not easy to bend nor break.
It really was just a genuine tragedy if you are on the side of McDowell. But Ferndale, we'll see whether or not they can keep up this pressure. Obviously, different modes will rely on different team compositions, different strategies to be enacted, Spaceman. So we'll see whether or not McDowell's got anything stored in their strat book for these next couple games, as it is still that best of 3 that could go either team's direction.
Cherry J, I gotta know. I mean, we only had like 5 minutes or so to kind of get an idea of what this game would look like, what the series would look like so far, but it was 2 quick investments, Strange Portal, then team fights. We didn't get to see a whole lot of the deep playbook that McDowell brought to the field, but did you see anything on your end that stood out to you in this first game of this series? Anything that McDowell needs to change up going into our next game?
I think they need to play more grouped and focus the Iron Fist, as at least on the first point, that was one of the main reasons that became a detriment for them. They allowed those 1v1s to be taken, and you really can't do that against a character who has just such a ceiling that relies on being able to find those 1v1s. So I think Spaceman, that's one of the big things that I'd recommend this team works on, at least coming into game number 2. But we are still only 2 weeks within the season. There's still time to be able to change, adapt yourselves, and we'll see whether or not they'll be able to do just that.
Yeah, there's plenty of time. That's a good point to point out as well for all these players who are competing. And for those who are wondering at home, one, you can get more information about PIEA, both on the website, the esports company, available here in the Twitch description of this channel. But 2, there's a long season ahead of us and a couple extra weeks of action to get through. So if you're a fan of Rocket League, Marvel Rivals, Valorant, Overwatch, etc., you could find more info and games available through esports company for Waynesburg and for PIEA here for TEC. This is going to be a marathon for sure. For McDowell, I am curious if the composition will change going in. They kept with the same roster for round 2. For game 2, they're going to have to deal with the peel that, or the hunt down, really, capability of your Iron Fist, the roaming capabilities of that Iron Fist. So expect either a Psylocke counter or a targeted ban going into our picks and ban phase, should we get it. Curious if you think we'll be seeing Adam Warlock again on ResCon.
My name is Boy. I am a stay-at-home parent, full-time content creator, esports host, caster, part-time. For me, video games is just a nice break away from reality. I dealt with a lot of bullying, a lot of picking and teasing at school. I lost all of my hair at the age of 5 due to a autoimmune disease called alopecia. Gaming was just a nice little break away from all that.
Mix it up with the headshot as well to be able to get the second half here.
Officially casting video games, I would say we're coming up right around the 4-year mark. Before that, I used to do a lot of watch parties and stuff back in the good old Mixer/Paladins days, where we'd watch the Paladins Pro League, which is where I kind of got my hunger for wanting to do more than just watch esports. I think the best advice I can give is definitely try to approach it on a part-time basis. And I think the other thing is building your brand along with being a caster. You're showing ability to work multiple games, multiple roles, whether it be interviewer versus caster, stuff like that. That will truly bring more value to their society. Anything that works being bad is worth being bad at.
I'll be standing on my own, never gonna take
the industry where the PIEA got started about 4 or 5 years ago to provide a structured and competitive environment for students to play esports. We wanted to provide a clear pathway for competition as well as other opportunities and career readiness for students in the state of Pennsylvania. Seeing students at the in-person environment was really such a good part about this run, watching them come together, practice their games, support their teams, and present each other on the team, along with their passion and competitive nature. Esports provides a number of skills for students from teamwork, communication, to confidence. It also provides the opportunity for students who might not play in traditional sports or any other extracurriculars and gives them a space where they can feel safe, play, and do the thing that they're most passionate about. I hope the CIEA helps esports become as accepted and as accessible as any other traditional sport. We want schools to truly embrace the passion for esports through something fun, broadcasting, competitive play, or any of the various other opportunities that esports can provide. We hope that these real-world skills and opportunities help these high school students excel for many years to come.
Mr. Gary, taking down Moose is huge. First good opening. We'll see what Tony Zamboni can do with this one, though. It's already a double. Gary's dead, and it's a slice and dice.
You gotta be worried about when the opponent comes to chase.
Hold on, here's the tire. Finds 3 off the back. Huge play by Buddy.
We've had some close games. We've had some high-scoring games.
Hello, folks. Welcome back. We actually have a quick update for you after our last game. It was McDowell, names were flipped, McDowell, who took home the opening game. So they're going to be up 1-0, but same conversation for now for Ferndale. Clearly, they wanted to go res comp with Adam Warlock. Didn't quite come to fruition the way they would have hoped. Iron Fist was a problem. Same idea. Let's get into our next matchup and talk specifically about, does it need to be a composition change, Cherry J, or is it just skill diff, esports diff? What are you thinking in this one?
I imagine a little bit of it does come down to that team cohesion that might not be there for McDowell, or not McDowell, sorry, might not be there for Ferndale right now. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, both these teams, they have been having a bit of a rough season to start us off. One being 0-1 with 1 win and 2 losses in terms of their map differential. The other one that being Ferndale, was 0-1 with 2 map losses without a single win. So at least McDowell has tasted that bit of success. Unfortunately, Ferndale cannot say the same. So we'll see whether or not they can make it tonight to be able to find that success to start their season off strong. But we head over to Midtown, going up to the streets of New York to see whether or not they will be able to flip the script in game number 2.
If Midtown was the map to do it on, you would expect the likes of Punisher and potentially Emma Frost to lead the charge here.
Right heroes could make all the
We'll see what happens. Let's get into it. Game number 2, McDowell High School up 1-0. Ferndale trying to come back and keep their hopes alive in this best of 3. We have a Daredevil on the field for the first time in a couple of days. Angela might be leading the charge offensively for the Vanguards of McDowell. And we will round it out with Black Panther and that Punisher. So this is going to be a tempo-breaking game between the Iron Fist, the Black Panther. It's just good luck as a defense for Ferndale trying to deal. I should say the offense of Ferndale trying to deal with the amount of space that Black Panther and Iron Fist can take up.
Dowell, they are going to have to keep up the pressure if they want to secure this game number 2 to secure the series. However, we know that Ferndale, they've shown signs of life in the past, especially on the second point of that first map. We'll see whether or not they'll be able to replicate that success, but you'd imagine that after McDowell had such a dominant game number 1 that they will be poised to be able to find a pretty solid start to this game number 2. But we are going to be starting this up. We see the Iron Fist from the Pixie Sticks once more, so we'll see whether or not they find it. I'm the Mad Lad, going to be swapping over to try and play the counter and go for a mirror matchup. We'll see whether or not they'll find success.
This is going to be a headache to deal with off start, though. This is going to be a little bit of a tough one. Already seeing Iron Fist and Black Panther doing what they do best, which is create headaches, annoy, and like a little bit of contest in the opening point. But big questions remain here for Ferndale High School. Specifically, how will they deal with the upfront? How will they deal with the pressure?
I mean, right now, the pressure just seems to be getting to them completely. They haven't been able to find a way to capitalize on the aggression McDowell is shoving into them, and they have to be able to find out something, maybe try and go for a bit of more CC pressure. But right now, we just kind of see them having to deal with this Pixie Sticks in the back line, going to be able to shut down one, finding a second. Ferndale's actually going to be able to start getting out of the spawn room here, so might possibly be a little bit of a sign of life for them. And maybe after McDowell's going to be able to find this trade, taking down Lehman, it could cause a little bit of an issue. But right now, it's just seeming like Ferndale High School has a little bit more to go before they're going to really be able to start shoving this point further.
Angela was able to go ahead and gank on the Punisher, so takes care of your backline support quickly. All the pressure in the world to deal with. McDowell are just handling business right now. I mean, this is a very easy defensive hold.
Doesn't seem like they're really having too much of an issue right now. Ferndale trying to play aggressive. Unfortunately, it's just going to be a little bit lackluster. The Lorax coming on in, able to secure a double kill, and we switch over. Matic trying to get a little bit of damage in, but playing this tank, going to be the force that is having to deal with so much pressure, and the movement just doesn't seem to be there for Matic right now. They're not going to be able to secure the kill they almost were able to retrieve. And now they're going to have to just kind of concede, go back for healing, and trying to fight for another day.
Well, surely this all won't do much. It will. Jeff able to clear most of the field, spits him back out. Again, still holding on to the Iron Fist repertoire. Closing in on a maximum pulse. Have the final judgment available. Have Eternal Bond, should you elect to choose it. There's so much in the tank in terms of resources for McDowell. It's going to require a lot on the shoulders of the duelist for Ferndale to really get out of this dodge. For that right now, they're just not able to do it.
Dowell, they have a couple ultimates coming online. So they are going to have this thing, trying to make something happen. But unfortunately, Astro not able to make anything. A Blaze going to be able to pick up a double kill. And as of now, Lehman going to be the next to fall. Blaze takes up a triple. The Lorax takes the next. And that's Pixie Sticks to close out fight, shutting down Ferndale once more.
That's fight number 3 locked up for McDowell. 2 minutes, 10 seconds on the clock. It's a lot of time, but in the same instance, it's also really not. I mean, just the way these team fights can go, we know that in Marvel Rivals, they can drag out to a standstill for about 45 seconds. This is going to be a long order. How do they deal with it? How do they handle the Black Panther and the Iron Fist? How are they handling the likes of a Blaze? So far, unable to find that first pick on Duelist. Strategists have been relatively uncontested for most of this game. And on the other side, I mean, we've been seeing a couple of times where Ferndale have been losing their Jeff. They've been losing their Adam Warlock a little too early, and then it basically shuts down the rest of the team fight.
The Lorax going to be getting a little bit too risky, and they will be shut down for it. Playing the risk, unfortunately, on the Mad Lad. Going to be able to take the next. Pixie Sticks finds one. A Blaze going to get the next. Pixie Sticks trying to make this movement work in their favor, but right now, the ultimate coming online in just a little bit. 10% needed still. Right now, they go for a bit of healing. Kill comes in from the side of McDowell, looking to shut this down before Ferndale gets too much momentum. But right now, this Jeff is going to be the next to be shut down. Pixie Sticks to the very end. Down for the count as well. Blaze finds one. The Lorax finds the next. And that might just do it.
Yeah, the attention right now a little bit uncoordinated from Ferndale. They had a couple of different angles they could have taken this push, and unfortunately they were a little too caught up in trying to find the Punisher and which way they wanted to go, and eventually get pushed back defensively. McDowell High School have again dominated this game. Jeff's gonna try to get out with a couple, won't really matter much. And just feeding the ults once more, McDowell High School. This is Ferndale's game to have to push forward, but they are unable to get to the zone. And Magic's going to go on and do what Magic does best, which is just gank and annoy. And so far, it's been all of McDowell again to start game number 2. They are looking excellent with 20 seconds to go.
Been a McDowell masterclass performance, and unfortunately, Ferndale just hasn't been able to adapt into the style that McDowell has been playing towards. So, after this momentum shifts in their favor, you'd imagine McDowell is going to have no real risk coming into this game, and yep, that might just do it. As look at that, a pretty dominant start for the McDowell High School in the season of the PIEA 2025-2026 school year. So a 2-0 victory. Certainly going to be looking like they are poised to take an aggressive stance for the rest of the season.
Yeah, that was pretty one-sided. I didn't expect it to be as overwhelming as what we got, but for McDowell, definitely felt like they knew their comps, they knew what they wanted to play with today. And again, good sportsmanship in the chat, GG's all the way around. Just not enough answers from Ferndale. 10 final hits for a Blaze, 11 for Pixie Sticks. It was the Iron Fist difference in game 1. And game 2, you could say it was Punisher's 18-1 that really did the most. But this was pretty dominant from the defense, and not too much to worry about. So for McDowell, GG's all the way around. They will continue to move on. For Ferndale, another chance, another week. But that is our first best of 3 today, done and dusted. And curious about, I know it's a very quick game series, but your thoughts on how McDowell played? Is there anything the viewers at home should be taking away from this team?
I mean, you gotta imagine that there is still going to be adaptations needed for McDowell High School, as yes, they played very well today. However, if you're playing against a team that's very experienced, they can find those cracks within your armor. But when you're on the side of Ferndale, it's another week, and you know what we like to say, you lose, you learn. So it's certainly not going to be the end of the world for them. They can come back, and they can maybe bring out a little bit more next week, but we will just have to wait and see, Spaceman. But we're going to go to a quick little break. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We have more Marvel Rivals action just coming your way in a little bit.
From Johnny to brilliance is absolutely that chef's kiss. Brilliant.
Why you hanging on the rooftop by yourself? I have an open invitation, but you're telling me go get lost. I don't wanna see your face. Yeah, what the hell? So why don't we stay out till the morning light? 'Cause two rooms can make a rap. We're just doing what we feeling right now. Sunshine and rain, we're keeping the parking lot. Yeah, traces of plastic cups. We're just doing what we feeling right now. So what the hell? Why you hanging
comes through again. Wildman will be cleared out. It's a 3v3 immediately. Showstopper gets popped. They do it much faster this time. They're going to be able to at least get one as another is cleared. Sir Deadhead off of the off kill, and he gets rid of the boots of Solvent Head. We're down to a 1v1 that could be going just as fast. Oh my goodness, he's always good for 3.
Pushed over to that location either, although now Clausera in a tough spot. Spike puts him down. It's all going to be left to Gus here. There's going to be the orbital strike, will prevent the defuse. The molly comes out. He will pull out the gunny in time. The thing's kind of getting closer and closer. Wingman does get sent out. Sayara turns the corner, gets put down. Hold on, Johnny. Can you do it? Yes, you can. It's the ice in the veins, clutching things out for a 4th round in a row. It's already hard enough playing at the disadvantage when it's 3 sides. Stoffer finds 3 despite the fact that they were blinded. Can you find a 4th? No, Lil Moon.
They're trying to establish some level of an identity. And Katano with the whip. Oh my goodness, they do it through the smoke.
Big pickup. Katano. Oh, that's one more. It's another smoke kill.
What's going on, everyone? I'm the bearded wonder, known as Hail Monkey Man. Believe it or not, I don't just yell at microphones. I actually have been in cybersecurity for 16 years. I'm a child of the 90s. I love cartoons, and one of my favorites that I grew up on is actually this cartoon named Hey Arnold. There was a vigilante named Monkey Man, and he would always yell, Monkey Man, to scare away, evil doers and dares as well. I always thought that the simplicity of the way that he helped people, even if it was just by being a weird dude with a cape that says the letter N, such a cool thing, I want everyone to know. Unofficially, I started casting about 11 years ago, 2014, but officially on screen where people actually saw my face, it's been about 7 years. Started with Super Smash, but then I officially dipped in when I started working with the New York that I created, doing Rocket League. It's been a really fun journey for us.
And now Arsenal with a free look. LJ pressuring Miss right behind him. Shot on target. Miss gets there.
PIA has been such a wholesome group to be able to explore not just regionally, but city by city. The rivalries for PIA is just, it's so strong, and seeing that really come to the forefront. You get to see students and players go from cradle to grave, not actually dead, just, graduation. It's a really special thing to see everyone grow up in that way. When it comes to esports, it is just like any other industry. There is a multifaceted organization that goes behind every single effort, and I encourage everyone to explore what is that most comfortable spot to really dive into. You can be on screen like me, you can be behind the screen pushing some buttons. Either way, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a fun spot for you to be able to play.
The night has come, it's cold and losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Stop this conversation. Stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy. Control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation. It's crazy. And it goes like
just that bit to go. Down they go, and Hunter pulls through once again.
They got the remake KO on Savage. You can't ask for more than that. They're trying to take him down, but it's just too much.
Yoshi, but Quasar is the most dangerous person on this team. They're actually in a place of advantage if they can be able to get this back in.
Oh no, Trenting's gonna do it to him one more time. Trenting's able to get one. The damage is done. Storms follows it up. They're trapped. They're dropped. So much. Storms able to play up. Trenting able to do damage. Storms leads the way. Looks for some big time damage. And the team will certainly follow up. Trenting's already got two. Mason's getting into the party. Double, all the trouble.
Hey everybody, I'm Pyro J. I'm an ex-tech consultant turned esports commentator and content creator. I enjoy playing video games because I always have. I grew up with three brothers. I was hyper competitive and just enjoy playing games with them. I've been casting video games for 5 years now. It's hard to believe. One day me and my cousin joined a amateur Rocket League called Indie Gaming. We found out that you could get your games casted for free. He told me, Pyro, I think you'd be a great caster. I considered it. You know, I was super nervous at first, but really came into my own. Ended up picking it up enough to leave my job and get into it full time. I have loved it. It really was a discovered passion, and yeah, the rest is history.
Set out to the side, beat one, demolish your blade, maybe the last man, shot your own way.
What I enjoy most about casting with PIEA is I am from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and actually now as of this year I live in Pittsburgh again, so I get to commentate for schools that I recognize. I even recognize my alma mater from my middle school is in the middle school league, which is so exciting. I would have loved the opportunity when I was that age, but now I get to be a part of it now in a really unique way, so I love it. My final words of wisdom are, as a ex-consultant in any industry, networking is so important. And with esports, it's all about building relationships, real, genuine relationships. Those will open doors that you would have never thought were possible. I'm casting video games today that, honestly, I would have never laid my eyes on had it not been for friends I've made in this space and opportunities that have been carved out. It really is all about the people, the stories, and relationships. Dig in, invest in it, and you'll go far. We're dancing in that line. That's the we can never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars, we're dancing in that line. We will never run. On our feet, let's bone dry. Let's bone dry.
do have that shorty in hand, you're able to
Those medical pills that push me over.
so quickly, make it
I give my fill 3 times a day.
now you get a fall.
These ethanol fumes won't make me sober. One flame to take the pain away. I call you like matches in the back room.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to more Marvel Rivals here on stream. It's Franklin Regional versus Mount Pleasant Area Vikings. Long name, but a good one. Love to see diversity in the collegiate and scholastic scene as well. I'm Spaceman. That is Cherry J joining me today. It's going to be another fun matchup. We just saw our last series, Ferndale versus McDowell High School. McDowell took it 2-0 very quickly. Simple question, Cherry. Gotta know. Are we seeing another hot 2-0 here?
Well, based on the fact we've seen a 5v6 being on the cards, I would imagine that this one should be pretty swift, you'd imagine. We'll see. I don't know if our lovely producer can give us the knowledge on this, but do we know which team is going to be playing from that 5 or the 6? Because I can tell you right now that just off the bat, you'd imagine Franklin Regional is going to be on the back foot, as they did lose their first week 0-2 compared to their opponents in Mount Pleasant Area Vikings Esports, who took a dominant 2-0 fashion in week number 1. So already, Mount Pleasant Area Vikings, they've come off a win, and they're looking to make that a second. So we'll see whether or not they can do that, Spaceman, but you gotta imagine that the answer should be yes.
I mean, if you're playing in a disadvantage, whatever the team might be, it's the worst advice in the world to say, do whatever you want, whatever comp you want to run with, go for it. But this is the chance to shake it up. You could go 3 strategists and like 2 DPS and call it a day. You might not get away with it, but you could really shake things up here. We'll see eventually how our potentially our picks and bans look too, which team is rocking with the unfortunate man disadvantage. But do you think we're going to see any changes here of knowing that it's a 6v5? Like, do we start to see that one side with less players focus more on duelists and strategists, maybe leaving off of a tank? Like, what are you expecting going into this? Or am I just throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks? What are you feeling?
You'd imagine that tanks are going to be opted out of a little bit more than some of the other classes, as when you're playing the tank, you kind of imagine that being a cohesive unit is going to be the play you're going to want to go for. But when you're down a player at the start of every fight, it's a little bit hard to do it. We are going to get confirmation, though. Franklin Regional is going to be the team playing the man advantage, or playing the man disadvantage, and Mount Pleasant Area Vikings, as they have already gotten a bit of momentum from week number 1, along with the fact that they are just overall up a man every single fight. You'd imagine they're going to be going a little bit heavier into this, but I do like the composition Franklin Regional will be adapting into. Running the Hella certainly is going to be a character who has that opportunity to be able to find opening picks. So if they can do that, it could be worthwhile.
Well, you have okay for a minute for Franklin. They were sitting on Penny Parker, and I'm thinking you have Penny, you can go to Rocket, you can maybe try to really dive deep into the bag, but instead we'll focus on the Venom, the Hulk. You have dive comp available. You have a pretty easy sustain defensively with pushback from Hulk with Gamma Stun, sure. Jeff, of course, going to be kind of a primary pick for all teams. For Mount Pleasant Area Vikings, though, I am curious what that Angela will do up front. I mean, the Angela is a tone setter. It is a win con when it comes to dominating the front line. And against Venom, you have so much in the back line you can help with magic. You can use Iron Fist to kind of peel off some of his early armor. It's going to be a tough uphill battle for Franklin Regional, but we'll see what they can do. Mount Pleasant Area Vikings have the advantage going into our first round.
It is going to be unfortunate to say the least, but we already take a bit of a look. Franklin Regional going to be dived in from the back line. Not Born finding the first. Neon off the board, and that's Heisenberg as well to be taken down. We take a look. Reich taking such a strong position, dominating the opposition. And now it just seems as if Mount Pleasant Area Vikings should be able to find this first fight with easy succession.
Angela's just doing what she does best. This is one of the best additions to the game in a long time, as many Vanguard players have been hoping for extra numbers in the slots. Maybe Mr. Fantastic eventually gets pulled in as well, but Angela seems to be, again, fitting in quite nicely with the new seasons and doing a fantastic job being able to keep up with the likes of Venom. And Hulk thing does make an appearance on the field for now. We'll see if that backline remains as secure as it was in the last fight. Again, it was Angela kind of breaking up a lot of that backline. Took away the Hulk, was able to peel correctly. This time, though, Franklin relying on the thing to clear off their own end, and Magic will escape for now. This is still a lot to deal with for Franklin and down 3 members and stuff.
Well, we will be seeing them taking down one of the players for Mount Pleasant Area Vikings, so they're going to be able to put this into a 5v5 for at least a little bit. We do see a bit of pressure getting applied to the Jeff the Shark. Mateo getting pushed in pretty aggressively. We'll see whether or not they find anything trying to slam somebody down. Nothing to be found just yet. Instead, they keep opting in for the punches. And unfortunately, just the lack of movement is going to be making them a real firing arm. And a lot of players are just going to be using them as target practice. But the rest of the team opting in for the aggressive stands. A double kill comes out from Mount Pleasant Area. And it seems as if they should be able to just quickly sweep this game up.
Oh, wait a minute. Hell, able to pick up 2. You get a beat down onto Iron Fist. Can you find any disrupt on points? The big question. Sustained for Mount Pleasant Vikings, and now comes down to soloing Penny. Prioritization is there. Nicely done. Star-Lord and Magneto will clean up the rest, and there is the duelist at the end of the fight. 85% and counting on a 2-stack. Franklin Regional will instead try to elect off spawn a new approach to this fight, but it does feel like this one is all but done and dusted. It has been Mount Pleasant Area Vikings dominating the front line, back line, and everything in between. We'll see if they can close it out here.
They're opting in for a bit of a dive composition, but right now Franklin Regional trying to get aggressive. Fisherman's going to fall down, and that's going to be Mount Pleasant Area Vikings taking a first point with very much a dominant position. This is going to be going down after the last series we saw in Division 1, this time going down to Division 2, but it is still seeming like it is a similar game to be played out. I can't lie.
This one feels a little bit one-sided, I think, is the gentle way to put it. It is a good showing for Mount Pleasant Area Vikings. Again, the Angela kind of forcing everything else to break down. Not the best English out of that sentence, but point stands of simply, what more do you have if you're Franklin Regional? How far into the playbook do you dive into? And I think the Penny and Rocket's a good change-up. I think you need at least some synergy when it comes to the power-ups. You have Cloak and Dagger, you have Thing. And in terms of just drawing a distraction away in the last round, we saw oftentimes Thing was trying to kind of make a play on the strategist, but Angela was taking care of the rest of the flyers, and it seemed like that was the easiest call for Mount Pleasant Area Vikings. So going into round 2, it is their game to win for Franklin Regional. An uphill battle for sure, but a lot of time to potentially get something done.
We'll see whether or not they can do any real damage. As of now, though, we are going to be seeing the Angela pushing in aggressively, conforming to the status quo, but they're going to be dropped down into the grave, putting this into a 5v5. Neon Neeks takes another off the board. That's going to be leaving Mount Pleasant Area Vikings without the points. So I might be eating my words, a little bit of a caster curse, as Franklin Regional really putting in all the brakes onto Mount Pleasant Area.
We're investing early into the Penny Mines. I think this is, again, like a good idea of just maximize the lack of an extra player. You do get a bit of that. Intergalactic Legend will hit the field, as well as Eternal Bond, trying to take some cryo on a Penny Parker, followed up by the Angela push. And unfortunately, Penny won't be able to dip out in time. That's 4 dead, all blue in the kill feed. Everybody wiped off the point. Rocket's still working on his Cosmic Yarn Amplifier, but for now, point back to Mount Pleasant. They have the break, they have the flip, and they're sitting on 3 ults to boot, 3 of the most impactful ones as well when it comes to the close quarters fights. We'll see what those eventually lead to. Franklin Regional can have to try a little bit harder off their next push.
Certainly going to be difficult, but they do have a couple ultimates in the back. So we'll see whether or not they are going to opt in for any of them right now, though. We're just going to be seeing the Jeff ult coming into play. Going to be able to find very little, but Fisherman does inevitably fall in the end. We see the Rocket trying to make something happen. Right now, though, they are going to be burnt down to a crisp by Not Born Again. But they are going to be able to find one. 365 Gamer going to be able to shut down Beans. Trade is in play, though, as they are going to fall. Neon Beaks as well taken off the board. And Franklin Regional just doesn't seem to be able to find an answer. They found that first team fight, and after that, it's been very much one-sided.
Yeah, gonna really have to hope to domino these ults together. That's maybe the best win con they're gonna have in this first game, this second round. Jeff going back into DPS mode. There goes Angela. Feeds some heals, gets everybody stunned. Sitting on a Iron Fist ult and a Meteor M. Should you invent it here, might be the time. Opportune as ever. Being able to clear out just a little bit. But again, nobody falling from Mount Pleasant Area Vikings. Jeff gets killed off the play, but this is still too much map positioning. 70% to 26. You got to make a move here for Franklin.
Some great sustainability from Mateo. Unfortunately, they will fall in the end. Mount Pleasant area. They still got 2 ultimates on the board, so real no need to worry. You can invest them as this would be the last round if you win this next team fight. Right now, though, we take a look towards Race. Going to be taking a little bit of an engagement with the Penny on the opposite side. But so many players looking to crash on into him. Neon Neeks finds the first. Race pushing back on towards the point, but right now they're playing very aggressive. Finding the trade. 365 Gamer off the table. It's going to leave them with a bit of a health differential. Franklin Regional pressing the ult button as Neon Neeks and Fisherman both going to be dropping them into play, but Race just going to be trying to make something happen against the opposing Hella. And unfortunately, it just won't. We're going into overtime, but right now, Franklin Regional, it seems as if the kill feed is all blue and they have nothing to try and bring it back with.
And you might be able to get this thing out of the point if you do. You buy enough time for the contest. This is Franklin Regional's hill to hold. They're able to get another and a second. They will break, and we get ourselves an extended round here in round number 2. Map 1. Mount Pleasant area Vikings already took the opening round here, but when it came to rallying those ults, though you did have the stall on Hella, everything else works out quite well, and they're fighting the 5v6.
It's going to be difficult, but I mean, they were able to at least show some signs of life. Mateo pushing us through the front lines, going to be trying to get the Jeff off the board. Not able to do it just yet, but they will be able to get it in the end. 365 Gamer finds a second. They keep on going for the domination. It's going to be the Angela that's the next to the punch by the looks of it, and the great punch through the air. Mateo finds the kill, and they're trying to shut down this turret, able to do just that as they're getting the Jester Shark down once more, finding the next. Not Born Again, going to fall down. 65% gain. Franklin Regional, no ultimates online, but they still stand composed.
This is getting interesting now. This is getting really interesting. Again, you're not going to switch comp if you don't need to. 99 to 76, we will be fighting into the OT. Should there be a stall on point, we'll get the knock up. 1v1 against Iron Fist leads into the chains, and here comes Angela again for the counter. Judge, Jury, Executioner. Where are your heals? Where are the strategists lined up on zone? So far, they're getting peeled off. There goes the immediate pick onto Cloak and Dagger, then the follow-up onto Rocket. No more heals available for Franklin Regional, and got to expect things now going to fall quickly. Knocks them up on the ult, able to stun 3, and eventually goes down. There's the retake. It was a matter of if, not when. And there we go. That will be the win in game 1. That is a GG's for Mount Pleasant area Vikings, as they had to weather some of that final storm, but they get the job done nonetheless, and they take the opening game.
Franklin Regional certainly putting some signs of life in towards the end. They're able to bring it 99 to 100. Mount Pleasant area Vikings being pushed to the brink, but unfortunately, they did not have enough in the bank. Franklin Regional, they did go down, but that is still just map 1. They have that chance to be able to bring it back in game number 2, but we take a look towards the MVP. Race taking it, so certainly not a surprise to most, as this was a player who constantly was just in the opponent's backline and really just putting a stranglehold on the game.
It's tough when you're down an extra player. It just mathematically, it's always going to be a fight uphill for sure. But I want to give credit to it's Mateo for 14 and 6, 6 final hits, 11 for Hella. It was a great block again out of the opposing Angela, and Not Born Again able to convert 22 of those 29 eliminations into final hits. We just got to note that in the chat they will be getting their final player back on roster. So this next game we should be having a straight 6v6. So really evening the playing field now, a different look for this team and for Franklin Regional. All of a sudden, you know, they looked pretty good in the 5v6. Now they have their full roster. I'm thinking we could see an extended series here.
It definitely could go to 3 maps. We'll have to wait and find out. But right now, it certainly seems as if Franklin Regional, they're not out of the back just yet. So yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing whether or not they're going to be able to take this. I don't know about you, Spaceman, but I certainly am going to be looking towards players like The Thing, who was really putting in a strong performance, especially on that second point when playing in their opponent's front lines. It just looked really, really nice, as they had a lot of sustainability towards them, and they didn't seem to really falter all too much.
This is going to be a battle of attrition and composition. It'll be fun to see what Franklin Regional brings to the table this time. If we stick with the Thing pick, we might. Mount Pleasant area Vikings were very keen on relying on the Angela to control front lines. So there is still a lot of room here for the Vanguards to have a swap. We could be looking at Magneto. We could be looking at Dive with Venom. We could be looking at a rare cap at this stage of the game. Like, you never know what you're going to get. But I am curious if we'll see changes towards the strategist side. We've seen Iron Fist twice today. I'm not sure if that's either just the way things are going now or more confidence picks from our players at this level, as it's been showing up in Ignite many times. But the Iron Fist pick, Black Panther, you're going to see on Midtown should we get there. This is going to be an interesting call for sure, as I believe we're almost ready to get into our second game. For Mount Pleasant area Vikings, they are up 1-0. They take advantage of the man disadvantage, and now their pressure is on for them. They have to show that going into the second side, that they are not a fluke from game one now that they're playing a full roster. But are you expecting an extended series here, or do you think that Mount Pleasant area Vikings have enough to close the door and shut us out in two?
Well, if we go based on anything from the last series, you'd imagine that that team that takes the first map certainly is going to have that momentum following them and can definitely bring them over the line. But we'll have to wait and see, as certainly Franklin Regional definitely might have some ultra superstar player in the pocket that is ready to just kind of dominate the lobby. I mean, you really never know in situations like what we're seeing at the Scholastic level here, Spaceman. It could be anything. It could be a player who has barely touched the game. It could be a player who is playing almost at the pro level already. So who knows? I'd imagine that Mount Pleasant area should be able to take this game, as they looked very dominant on the first point. But who knows? Obviously, it could go either team's way.
We never know. That's why we play the games in the end. And I believe that as of now, we're going to make sure that we get the players both in and also choose the right map for our game too. So until we get everybody in the same lobby and get ready for our next match, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, the continuation of the series between Franklin Regional and Mount Pleasant area Vikings. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll see you in a minute.
to break the scoreboard.
90 seconds. Everyone's seen death in their dreams. No one to do it. You said it. But we still wake up and go to sleep. Everyone's seen death in their dreams.
You made this short here, very close. An extra rebound, an extra bump on an Oka. Wake up. There's a dunk and Oka takes it away. It was a little sketchy, but they still managed to get it back.
You don't gotta fight alone.
keeps my eyes a little peeled wider is that Rampage. You just don't know the value it's going to find because Transcendence will not counter it. There's no cure code to cleanse. So here we go, in with the Rampage, and that's a big one.
It is indeed. Johnny's gonna go down, so there's no train.
Now it's a really early Suzu that will be available for this death monster.
You couldn't tell who won until the very end. Warren just needed to squeak by in that one corner. They couldn't even do it, but this is where it all began. The pure domination from Piano after 3 big kills shattered. A fourth pinned into the corner.
Nearly dropped down as well. You can see they're all in critical comms. The first one to go, Kitsune dropped down, but my dude is the key. Triple kill. This guy's got Jedi. Massive Jedi and a perfect trigger. Oh, minus the one. Got a sliver.
First time we're really seeing Slips get active regarding the vertical play. He does get caught, and now it's that trusted.
Midfield third nicely. Sets up the ball for Spork. And again, it's an open net. Hits. Yep. Just underneath the crossbar. Spork scores again.
And you get scared because as soon as the ball is on target, you saw Sports stop moving. To overtime we go. Gumdod tries to find the low 50, but can't. That ball pinkies out towards that sideline. Praise Arnold shot. Or sorry, not Praise Arnold. Roku shot all of the pass from Billy. And all of a sudden, team number 1 is done and dusted. Garden South. The cherry here, regulation. Pass towards the middle. The pockets hold on. Second goal. Zeros on the clock and Bell Birdie go up 2-0 in the series.
Oh my goodness, what a win and game number
Too high off the back wall once again.
Now Murphy sends that one through. Show with the shot point. Dagger, backhander. Stay undefeated in the regular season.
Dang it. Yeah, I wanted to see more games.
My name is Mr. Beckett, and I am actually a professional freelance esportscaster. I have been casting esports for over 4 years, all throughout middle school and high school. I was the news anchor for the morning news and the afternoon news. So I was used to being in front of the camera. I suppose my love for esports was a natural progression into esports commentating. I filled in for that first gig as a 1v1 Rocket League pro, and it spiraled completely out of control from there. There's no way could I be an esports commentator for my full-time job. I love casting because I can get my voice to tell stories of high schoolers, hopefully give them a platform to graduate into collegiate esports and get scholarships to have some of their skills paid for, all of their I was a Rocket League coach one LAN as well as my 18 months It's a rough world out there at the moment, but I'm sure it'll grow to get a better foundation. In order to survive, you really have to make yourself undeniable by finding different avenues of success, and then eventually, I'm sure if you work hard enough, you'll find one of those avenues of success.
You break me. It's something I thought that makes us whole, baby. Every piece keeps us together in the core. I break you break me. Holding on love and chains of
Good afternoon. Welcome back, gamers. Hope you all have a fantastic day as we continue on with our second series of the day, Franklin Regional versus Mount Pleasant Area Vikings. Game one was a lopsided affair because of the discrepancy in the 6v5 team fight. But this time we're back to an even playing field. Franklin Regional will have a chance to be able to turn things around. Cherry J, is this an extended series? We're going the distance now that they have 6. We kind of hit on that before we went to the break, but I'm curious what your thoughts are coming back. Are we seeing the full force of Franklin Regional now? What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go ahead and say no, but I'm not gonna go and say that there's not a chance. I think that Franklin Regional certainly showed a lot of prowess in that second point on the first map, but I just need to see more from them. I think that when it comes down to it, Athena was putting up a big masterclass performance for this roster of this Mount Pleasant Area Vikings. So if they're gonna be able to take it, they gotta show here. I need to see some more impact from the Franklin Regional. I was gonna say high school, but I don't know what an SHS is.
Specialty? I think specialty is like that's the best guess I have. But you're absolutely right. Like we need to see more impact on this one. And on Shibuya, there is a lot of opportunity for your hit scans to dominate the game. For a Hella, probably going to be maybe my primary pick going into this one. Hella and your of course Jax on the Namor. This is an opportunity to kind of dominate the mid lane, especially when it comes to protecting yourself against gank or flank. Should it be either? I mean, the Iron Fist is going to be a problem. We will have Phoenix on the field. Should be a 1-for-1 against Hella. And we'll see what kind of healers we're looking at for Fisherman. Should expect either Invisible Woman or Cloak and Dagger on this map. Would usually expect the Invisible Woman to give you a little bit more cushion. But so far, nothing too unsurprising when it comes to the picks and bans. Again, looking at how we've kind of maneuvered through this season so far, Magic being out, Angela being out, these are usually pretty early targeted picks from any team, and it's following the same kind of song here.
Yeah, I like what we're seeing. Neon Neek sticking to the Hella, even though they're in that 6v6, so they're sticking to the same composition, not conforming to the meta. So I do like it a lot. They're going to go in for what they do like, and I will give you this much, Spaceman. I looked it up. SHS, it does stand for senior high school. What the difference between a high school and a senior high school is beyond me. But you know what isn't beyond me? These bands. I can see them right in front of me.
Are you looking at anything in the bands? The Squirrel Girl band. It's like that. Is that tickling your fancy at all?
I can't say this. I can't say this. I mean, I think it's fun. I'll give them that much.
I want
but
to see Squirrel Girl. Come on.
I would have liked to see Squirrel Girl as well. Unfortunately, the Hella. But wait, oh no, that's a Protect. Okay, I'm dumb. Anyway, yeah. So we're gonna see the last bit of the phase coming in from Franklin or from Mount Pleasant Area Vikings. They're going to be going on in, and now we're going to be getting those confirmations for us. We'll see whether or not they're going to throw any crazy picks on in, but it seems as if everyone's going for those kind of same signature picks as we saw from the previous game.
Yeah, Mount Pleasant does not want to deal with the duelists, and Franklin Regional does not want to deal with the tanks. Fair play. Understand it. 365 Gamer will be rocking Hella. So there you have it. We got Jeff on the field. We also have Cloak and Dagger getting locked in. Jeff followed up with Cloak and Dagger. Mirror match on both sides. For one of the first times, rare times, we looked at potentially having Scarlet Witch join the action here. I don't know if we will get it locked in, but it was a pretty quick permaban yesterday, which was surprising because we didn't, one, see too much of it when it wasn't banned, and two, it was always instantly banned on the first pick when there were other options that clearly were having a much more detrimental impact on the game state. But this will be a fun one for sure, and an opportunity for Franklin Regional to again right the wrongs of their last game, where they would put themselves in position to at least contest and compete. When it came to closing the gap with that extra man down, they were unable to finish it. Franklin Regional have a lot to prove, down 0-1 in the series. Can they keep it going? We're gonna find out.
We are certainly going to be able to see whether or not Franklin Regional Senior High School is going to be able to take us to a game number 3. We're going to be getting those portals already coming into the fray, but right now it's Mateo going to be charging straight on into the action as both teams ready and roaring to start off this first engagement, as it's Mateo being the front line, trying to take a little bit of damage, mitigate it for the rest of the team, but a little bit of damage already being applied on to the Beano balls, and they're going to be taken off the board. We're going to be seeing a little bit of more impact coming on from them, but right now Franklin Regional is just going to be going in aggressively, trying to find a little bit more damage. As we see, it's Mateo charging back into the fray. They're going to get a massive knockup, and now everyone is running for the hills.
I think originally when we started, that was the strange portal to get them all off the map. I just don't think it lined up appropriately. You could see Thing kind of jump out and be like, I think this was meant to kill us all, but it didn't. So it's a good sign for Franklin Regional if they're able to avoid the early trap, but this time it'll just come down to straight up fisticuffs between Angela, Strange, and Thing. Able to clean up 2 blue in the kill feed, try to look on the pinstripes, but yet again, Mount Pleasant area Vikings in a straight up 5v5, 6v6 are doing their best all the way around. They just handle the pressure, they take care of the isolation onto the strategist, and there you go. They'll have control of the point for now. Electronically at the last of Strange, but this has been another instance where Mount Pleasant area Vikings are just too much to handle.
Now we saw Neon Neeks try to commit to the point, but unfortunately that will just stagger them out from the rest of the team. A little bit of an aggressive play coming on in, but unfortunately another player just coming on in to the meat grinder and getting instantly eviscerated. So we're going to be seeing Franklin Regional having to wait a little bit longer once more for the rest of the team to come on back. Race coming in from the high ground, swapping off of their Angela, moving on over to the Strange, getting a bit of value, but right now it's going to be Franklin Regional to find this first bit of impact as they find a couple opening picks.
You can see the Strange trying to focus on the back line, thinking, do I want to pop the eye Bagamoto behind the wave, and then kind of siphons inside, gets between a couple of players, and unfortunately does get caught by the squid. So it was opportunity, led to second guessing, led to, well, gets caught in the action. Mount Pleasant area Vikings do eventually give up on the defensive end, and Franklin Regional will take the opening swing with it. P1 locked up onto P2. Here we go.
Area Vikings, we're going to be seeing a couple players push up really aggressively, but they're instantly taken offline. Race on the Doctor. Oh, unfortunate. They're going to be taken offline by Neon Neeks, as they will be down for the count for at least a little bit longer.
We're going to go ahead and pop extra armor. I want to see Wolverine get aggressive here. Very aggressive from your Cloak and Dagger. I mean, again, staying path behind your Mr. Fantastic is the right call, especially with the line of Jeff all the way back playing DPS, but Jack's able to find 2 in the process, takes out Fantastic, takes out Jeff. So mid-range gone, backline gone, and you can see the following result. It has just been a walk down central lane here for Franklin Regional, looking much better as opposed to game 1.
They're instantly going for the bunch, and they will be able to select a target for that priority, and they're instantly just going straight on in. This Thing trying to take down this Penny, but right now we look towards Jax trying to destroy the utility. Now they have to go for a bit of heal as their team is getting kind of pressured in the back line, but right now we see the first kill coming on for the side of Mount Pleasant. They're able to find a bit of an equalizer, but Jax takes it for themselves. Fisherman finds another, taking down the fish, as Mount Pleasant area Vikings is going to be dropping to the ground. They need to bring it back, but Jax is pushing towards the back line, looking to create a bit of volatility, but certainly going to be dropped right now. They still keep at 275 HP, but Franklin Regional, a bunch of their players are starting to drop. Heisenberg being one of them, down for the count. 365 makes the trade. Fisherman off the board. Race able to find the kill, and Jax going to be dropping next.
They have Namor and Hella working on their synergy, and you can see kind of the Hell Sprouts that were able to form mid-fight, but It wasn't enough to peel the front line. This time, though, it will be Hella trying to clean up the rest on the back. Focusing specifically on the Cloak and Dagger. Thing has to jump on the point just to stay involved. They're able to solo out Penny, able to keep pressure on Penny, get the stun in with the Eye of Agamotto, and the follow-up kills are there for Franklin Regional. But Mount Pleasant area Vikings are still holding on to zone. They're doing a nice job of being able to contest here. Once more, the Hella charge does come through. Follow-up Whale, not going to land. There goes Jeff. And numbers continue to split, but numbers are falling for Mount Pleasant area Vikings. They've been able to hold on for so long in this fight before eventually losing their front line.
Kill feed looking like Raish is going to be able to get a lot of value as they find a double kill. Make it a triple as it's Raish to really bring this game back on in for the side of Mount Pleasant area Vikings, looking to slam the hammer down, be that executioner for Franklin Regional. But right now, they're just going to be able to do just that, but they still have time. Still 4 more meters. Sorry, not 4 more meters. It looks like it, but it's a little bit longer than that. A minute remains, and I don't know. They're going for a bit of high ground, and they want to try and make something happen, Spaceman.
Yeah, I feel like, this is the time to kind of shake things up with how the last team fight's gone. It's been a drawn-out affair on this road to P2. Why not get a little bit mixy here? Got a decent amount of time on the clock. Eye of Agamotto will keep things all still. 49 seconds to go. Eternal Bond does hit the field, and with it, should expect a follow-up to come in from Hella, but Angela will try to get close and dicey on that, and eventually does fall. They get 2 more in the kill feed. Strange continues to find success on these roams, and solo onto Hella is enough to push her back. So this is another instance where the defense of Mount Pleasant area Vikings does kind of concede the opening fight, but when it comes to bending, not breaking, they do eventually resist, push back, and do a nice job of zoning this offense.
Look at the high ground. They're going for a bit of verticality, trying to hold them back. Mount Pleasant area having a bit of a difficult time to do just that as this thing is pushing everyone off of the height. And there's going to be the ult coming in from the Jeff, trying to get a bit of value. They want to get the ult and they want to isolate the picks, but right now it's going to be 365 Gamer to find a double. Jax finds the next. They're going to be popping in this Jeff ult, and everyone squeezed out. Neon Neeks finds the next as Franklin Regional takes another team fight. And it does seem as soon as they got back into a 6v6, limiting that 5v5 or 5v6, they've actually just been able to really upset my expectations for sure.
It's got to be nice just knowing you have an extra player. At the end of the day, you just have your teammate on the board, which is great because all of a sudden the rest of the composition of the roster then solidifies and you're able to do what you want when it comes to picking synergies between Namor and Neon. This time, though, it has just been the solo fights that have made the difference for Mount Pleasant area Vikings defense. If they're able to clear up, again, this front load, they should have no problem pushing the payload forward. Penny will go ahead and pop her ult. So here come the mines. Eternal Bond does match it. Things getting very over-aggressive here, just outside of the line of Jeff. Just way outside the line, but still not getting punished for it. This has been pretty great work from this thing to dominate against Strange, dominate against Wolverine, and yeah, it's working out quite well as Mount Pleasant area Vikings are fighting off the back foot right now.
Gosh, Franklin Regional lighting up the kill feed, going to go for another, but the double kill comes in. Not Born again trying to find a double kill. There's gonna be another from Mastery, but no, it's 365 Gamer taking down Race. It's Mateo trying to get another. There's going to be the Eye of Agamotto coming on the line. They go for a bit of aggressive play towards the right side of this last bit of points. Right now, though, Mateo trying to push the aggression, trying to get this done, and yes, they will. Franklin Regional takes a complete hold over this map.
Yeah, all right, we got ourselves a real series this time. We're gonna jump into our second round with Franklin Regional on the defense, and for Mount Pleasant, the question does come in, does it need to change in comp, or is it just a execution problem? We'll see what they like to stick with, and we're going to go over towards Bucky, so you get yourself, again, a bit of an infinite combo if you're able to lock it, and Jeff, potentially Scarlet Witch, again, with the new update to Scarlet Witch's Ult, where, again, it drags in like Sonic Seduction and does some damage along the way. This does afford some opportunities for a Penny Parker into a Scarlet Witch, or simply Eye of Agamotto into Chaos, and we'll see if that is maybe the call for this one. But yeah, there's a lot to work with here for Mount Pleasant area Vikings, but it just comes down to team fights at the end of the day. They were very, very close to holding off that last round on P2. This time, though, they're gonna have to work through offensively, get all 3 ticks, or we have ourselves a tie series in this best of 1 or in the best of 3.
Pleasant area Vikings needing to full push this if they want to be able to close the door, or else they open themselves up for this to go to a map 3, which I don't know if they're ready for. We haven't seen, I don't think,
The battle starts in
we have not seen a single map 3 within the entirety of the Marvel Rivals Division 2. So if we start it here, I mean, that would be crazy. I'd love to see it though, Spaceman.
I would too. I mean, it would be nice to go to the distance and just see what these players look like when pressure's on, when they have to make big plays. And good players make good plays on good opportunities. Let's see if we get there, though. That is the end game here for Franklin Regional, as they will come off the opening start with a beautiful couple of parries from Angela, and with it, push that offensive line right back. The defense not going anywhere.
365 Gamer putting in the aggression and will be found with success, as Sewer going to be pushed into a little bit of a corner, dropped down, having to go underwater, trying to get back on into the fray, but instantly dropped to a crisp as 365 Gamers able to pick up another kill. Mateo trying to pressure as well, going to be able to find the kill by the looks of it, knocking them up, going in for a power punch, and that's going to be Dalton off the board, as they are going to be falling one player down. Franklin Regional going to be showing cracks in their armor, but Mount Pleasant area unable to capitalize, as a couple of their players are already down for the count once more. As Mateo finds another, you'd imagine they're going to have to keep backing up.
Yeah, you would hope at this point that they have been able to do the math, especially on this push. But again, the question comes in, when do you start to invest that strange portal, and when might be the time? Again, a lot of time on the block, plenty of opportunities here, but when it comes to dominating that, for lack of a better term, 50-yard line of this P1, it's been nowhere to be found. Strange does get stunned. Eternal Bond will try to clear the lane, excuse me. And a bit of damage out from Jeff, able to clear off that thing. So first block down and first big wave in. And now a chance for this offense to finally push up.
We've seen the Jeff coming on in. Jax as well, going to be investing heavily. Right now, we are just going to look towards Franklin Regional to be able to secure this point, and everyone getting spit on out, trying to get back on into the point, going to go in. Fisherman going for a bit of dodging and weaving, and they keep on going aggressive. Switching on over, we're going to be seeing the Stalker Stone trying to stay alive, but right now Mateo finds the first, dropping this player down to a crisp of their HP. Going to look as if the staggering kill is going to be really impactful, as there's only a minute 30 left.
How's Strange still up? I know heals are there, but how in the world is Strange still involved in this fight? Again, 91% now for Jeff. Your big breaker here, if you're Mount Pleasant, is relying on that Jeff ult to take off Namor, take off Hela, and potentially your Cloak and Dagger. But you're losing too many numbers to commit to this staggered. You would have to wait off spawn, try again, and continue to set the standard up front, and Angela deals the rest. So this is another instance where Mount Pleasant area Vikings had an opportunity to close out this first point. They're unable to do so, and they have about a minute on the clock to come up with a response.
Certainly going to be difficult, but we take a little bit of a look. Mount Pleasant area, they're trying to go in. They find the first pick. 365 Gamers off the board. They want to try and go in aggressive, but right now it's looking almost impossible. Mateo tries to find the kill. Unfortunately, the heals are just a little bit too fast. They got the ultimate online, might need to invest it. There's still going to be 40 seconds, so if they can hold it off here now, they will be able to force that game number 3. Mateo dodging away, playing the corner, playing it well, forcing everyone into the air. The double kill comes on in, trying to secure this fight. Mount Pleasant doing a very good job, and they invest the ultimate from the Jeff just to be able to secure it.
That was a bit of a whiff there from the Scarlet Witch ult. It was a quick burn on the back line. I'm not sure exactly what the call was from Mount Pleasant area, but not the play that should have been made. And from there, the rest of the team fight kind of dissolves into simple particulates at the end. That is 2 minutes on the clock, and a nice pickup on P1. But I'm still curious about that moving forward, that ult's choice. And we had a couple of matches yesterday, specifically, Cherry, where we saw teams really have a lot of success offensively, defensively, but when it came to their timings of their ults, those were the margins where they were finding the losses. They were making the most mistakes. I'm hoping that it is just a fluke for this round, but very curious what those ults will look like down the stretch as they try to continue to fight for P2.
We're already seeing 3 players from Mount Pleasant area Vikings off the board for at least a little bit longer. 2 minutes have been gained, but it's certainly seeming as if Franklin Regional, they don't care. They're going to be able to bring themselves back up, compose themselves once more. Fisherman off the board already, taken offline, and Raish is going to be the next to fall with them. We're seeing Dalton playing very aggressively. Heels coming on in, trying to get the pressure on the theme. Just not enough. Forced between a rock and a hard place. And that hard place is known as 365 as they keep putting in the damage. Unfortunately, now they are going to have to concede the engagement, forcing themselves to back off. Neon Neeks is going to be taking another kill, finally getting traded out. However, Mateo pushing up, finding a kill. Mateo doing some great work and going to leave them with a little bit of overinvestment. Possibly it's going to cause them to fall down in the end, but the healing is nice. Mateo stays alive, looking to frontline, looking to keep the pressure up.
The way that Mateo's been playing, I mean, it's just been a race to ults for your Cloak and Dagger and for Jeff. This is a perfect opportunity to really stall out this offensive push. Thing does get caught, eventually will fall. Make that one for Franklin Regional. Holding on to ults here for Jeff. Sonic Seduction, trying to clear zone. Everybody's weak though, that's the tough part. And not really able to corral much, but here comes Jeff. We'll leave a little bit of healing behind in his wake. We'll pick up 3 though. 4, almost the entire team of Franklin Regional being caught off guard. And Jeff's got nowhere to bring him except inside the kill house. And we'll see if he can put him away here. Not gonna happen.
Oh, unfortunate.
I was fine.
They are going to be able to isolate a lot of players, however. Franklin Regional dropping their Jeff is going to be a tragedy, and Mount Pleasant Area Vikings is just going to be able to pick it back up right where they left it. 18 seconds remain, but it seems as if this next point could be inevitable as the respawn still needing to come to play from Franklin Regional. A lot of ultimates coming for them, but 3 on the side of Mount Pleasant Area Vikings to contest. With this Jeff push up so far, you got to ask, what are we doing? As 2 players are already falling down, Mount Pleasant Area Vikings are doing some great work being able to keep this point their way.
Right now, the communication needs to be between Raish and Beanzo Balls. You need both of them on the same page. Why? Because Strange still has Portal, and you have your ult from Scarlet Witch, but she invests it again, and it doesn't clean up anything. I mean, there are opportunities being left on the table for Scarlet Witch that might have been better served later into the fight. Strange still doing a nice job of poking and prodding against Thing, and never mind. We're just going to win our one-on-ones up close, and when we do, we'll move the point forward. Mount Pleasant Area Vikings handle the pressure, the second team fight of the second push on P2, and with it, they keep the payload going. So I know I'm being a little like hypercritical of the way that Scarlet Witch is playing, but it does feel like those are opportunities where you make the team fight so much easier if you're just able to kind of rally those and chain them together versus trying to go for opening breaks with that final pull. So we'll see what happens here.
It is a genuine tragedy, but right now, 365 Gamer already off the board, going for an ultimate possibly, and see whether or not they are going to be able to invest well. Down to half HP, Race is going to have to play a little bit safer, but right now the Thing getting burned to a crisp, down for the count. There's Heisenberg as well. We thought this might be going the distance to a game number 3, but Mount Pleasant Area Vikings flips that idea all up on its head as they end this game by the looks of it with 20 seconds on the board. Respawns need to be quick and they need to be swift when reaching the point. Unfortunately, Jack's already down for the count. They need to get these next players off as soon as possible, and they will. 10 seconds. Mount Pleasant Area Viking will keep this game alive.
That's pretty impressive how the tanks have all of a sudden started to dominate this game. The entire push for Franklin Regional, both defensively and offensively, was kind of funneled through their Thing. Strange stepped up in that last round. I know there was a couple of missed ults for the offense, but Strange individually against Thing took the fights really consistently. And then when it came to kind of, again, setting tempo later into the lane, this was an opportunity for Mount Pleasance to bend more than they expected, but they didn't. Their tanks stepped up massively. There was a couple of one-on-ones for Murdy against the opposing Angela for sure. That was more on the back line. That was more on like the outskirts of their fights. This time it was very much Strange setting the tempo. And again, credit where credit's due. If it's a tank v tank fight, Mount Pleasant Area Vikings certainly have the answer that they have been looking for in this series.
Mount Pleasant Area Vikings going on to their 3rd round of this map. I mean, we've seen them doing well. On the defensive side, we've seen both teams struggle when it comes to that 2nd and 3rd point. However, especially this first point was so hard for Mount Pleasant Area Vikings to be able to mount themselves, as it took them a significantly longer time than one would have appreciated to be able to attack it. And when it came to defending, they allowed the Mount Pleasant Area Vikings to be able to find their success very swiftly. So I think for the most part, this is really gonna this is where I see this being the determining point, Spaceman, on if they are gonna be able to go to bring us to a map 3, or if this could just be done and dusted right here and now.
Oh, absolutely. And I think it's an interesting call over towards a perfect EMP should you try to go against the likes of either Bucky to counter your Kraken Impact, or just trying to take more damage on point specifically against the Emma Frost. Having Phoenix in that lineup for Franklin Regional is a good change going into this overtime, but we'll see what comes of it. Again, Hulk could be great for zoning, great for the Gamma Stun, of course, and so far Franklin Regional are taking their time cleaning out this place. This has been a very clean, consistent, composed opening round. And we'll see if they can try to get on with 8 seconds to go. Just a couple of ticks away from sending us the distance, and we will keep moving.
Without skipping a beat, we're seeing Franklin Regional coming back on into the front foot, swapping off the thing over to the Hulk, going into the back line, 300 HP, dropping down quickly. Instantly, the heals will be inept. Right now, they need to get back on into the foray, looking to shut down this first player, but it's going to be Mateo getting way too overzealous, going to be forced into a very low HP line, but they keep on bouncing in and out, weaving away, and right now they keep on trying to pressure the back lines, finding success. Mateo getting the kill. Eisenberg's going to fall. Morty as well. There's Mateo fighting another, as this could be Franklin Regional to win another team fight.
I mean, this routing from Hulk has been so good in this overtime. They're going to keep it moving. And my God, did Franklin Regional just pull this out of nowhere? This has been a nearly flawless OT with such little time to do it as well. They keep the payload moving. They have a couple of ults they can burn. They have the Eternal Bond. They can hold on to the monster. They can hold for time for Hela. This is an opportunity for them to put this game away.
And this is exactly what they were looking for. Franklin Regional trying to play aggressive. We see this 365 gamer going in, down to 200 HP, trying to make something happen, focusing on the Jeff, not able to do much, and the whole kill feed reigns blue. Ultimates not utilized. Franklin Regional uninvesting as 4 ultimates get wasted. Franklin Regional going to be halted in their footprints.
Time to switch things up.
I didn't think that was happening. I'm gonna be honest with you. The way that team fight before that team fight went down, I didn't think we were gonna see the flip like that. That was Franklin Regional dictating pace. That was their fight, their walk up, their wind up, and all of a sudden Mount Pleasant area Vikings said, oh yeah, we could just do this too. And they eventually shot back and countered quickly. They just need a payload and a half to win this eventual game, and we'll see if they can get it. But it seems like the table is set for them to take this series 2-0, which again, Franklin Regional have played really, really good in this matchup. But the last offensive win for Mount Pleasant area Vikings changed kind of the script of how this series might go, and they've proven that offensively they're just as competent as the other side, and now it's just up to them to finish the game.
It's certainly going to take a lot. But Mount Pleasant area Vikings, it's not like we haven't seen them do it before. Oh, looks like we got a little bit of BM in the chat, as we are going to be seeing a little bit of toxicity. Unfortunately, that's what happens. It's Marvel Rivals. Toxicity, it's the name of the game, Spaceman, and I'm all for it personally.
So I keep them to myself.
A more appropriate trash talk in esports, the better.
Exactly.
You know, just keep it clean, keep it nice, but always lean into the passion, and that's what you get at any level of Marvel Rivals. That's nice, and we'll see how the players react to it as we get into what could be the last round of the series. If they take it personally, and if they do, what do they bring to the field to show for it?
Reality isn't their plaything. Only 60 seconds left.
I want to see them going for something crazy. It seems like something crazy they will do. Going for the high ground. TP in. Resh going to be going in, trying to contest this. Hulk and putting them in the danger seat. But Neon Nix is going to be able to find the first. It's Mateo secures the second. Resh put into a pretty bad situation, but they are going to be out the window and into the absolute 6 feet under place. I don't even know what to call it anymore, because Mount Pleasant area, they went for the aggressive stance and they instantly get evaporated.
Yeah, that was pure chaos into not a whole lot of pressure. This was a difficult decision for sure, but now you got 20 seconds, so what looked like a guaranteed push on the P1 is now turning into a stalemate again. What do they do here? They switch off of Strange and they go for dive, trying to secure this point quickly. It is a play. It is a call. Does it work? As of right now, it's not. There goes Captain America, and this is going to cost them if they're not able to get onto the point. They have a couple of ults they can work with here. I lied. They got nothing they can work with here. And they're getting pushed off. There's nobody around to contest. That was a disastrous walk into OT. And a call off of Strange when they needed a portal the most. They will drop it. And for Franklin Regional, they'll survive into a third game.
That is exactly what you are looking for if you're Franklin Regional High School. A 4-3 decisive victory after that second half didn't really go your way. You were down 10 seconds going into overtime, but in the end, they were inevitably able to take the win. Going to a game number 3, I mean, Mount Pleasant area Vikings, they're certainly going to have to be rethinking things. The mentality cannot be good over in the esport room over there, but you got to imagine that they should be able to regroup themselves. I liked how they ended it off. I thought that like the idea of fighting really fast was good because it allowed them to be kind of excluding any prolonged fights from being a possibility. And that allowed them to get at least 2 team fights in. Unfortunately, both team fights just did not go their way. So that is just kind of like a tragedy that is a little bit hard to see past. But Spaceman, I mean, going to a game number 3 is kind of insane. But how do you think this is going to end?
I mean, the way that overtime went, it was a very confident, oh, we're going to call game here and just try to win it outright. And the fact that Franklin Regional stepped up defensively, I think now they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, how that in-game banter went. They just closed out the OT. I'm feeling a Franklin Regional win here in game 3. I'm feeling the 2-1 comeback, especially knowing that this team played off the back foot, almost made it close in that first game, which was about 45 minutes ago. It was like they really tested the 6-man roster of a Mount Pleasant area Vikings. And after how Shibuya just went, I'm feeling the Franklin Regional comeback. I think this is a perfect opportunity for them to show what they've got. And so far, I mean, the way the Hulk's been playing, the way their main tank's been playing between Thing and Hulk, they have really dominated the conversation when it comes to those early picks on a team fight. So very excited for that for sure. But Mount Pleasant area Vikings, do you think that loss here in game 2 is going to haunt them going into our next one?
Yeah, you'd imagine they'd at least be a little bit bummed out. I mean, Mount Pleasant area Vikings, they are currently the number 2 seed within the Division 2 Marvel Rivals season. But when you're placed this high, that's when teams start to come up from underneath you, take your spot, and getting upset by the number 14 seed currently cannot feel good. So Franklin Regional, we'll see whether or not they can come back, take this win. Obviously, we are very early into the season, so standings really don't mean anything, but it is still going to sting if you get upset early on by a team that didn't have a very good performance in their week number 1.
Yeah, it'll be fun to see, again, where these players kind of start to settle into their positions, knowing that we're only in week 2. There's still a lot of ways to go and a long time to be played this season, but every result matters here in this competition. For PIEA at this division, there's only so much separation between the best of the best and the rest, and we'll see what that looks like on the field. Until we get into our next game, though, let's go ahead and jump into a quick break. When we come back, we will have game 3 of Mount Pleasant area Vikings versus Franklin Regional. It should be a good one. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll see you in a minute.
Running around like dollars in the wind, bending over backwards just to let you in. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. We don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. But you were calling me a liar, 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 liar.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you might be wondering to yourself, why on earth is this random loser talking about my esports game? Well, we are going to be back. Spaceman will be back in just a little bit of a second, but we're getting straight on back with the game. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because we are seeing who will take this game. Game number 3 is upon us, and we are coming into the ban phase immediately as Mount Pleasant Area Vikings coming on into the series, winning their week number 1 game 2-0, is going to be down and out after that last map, going to be off of a 1 minute to 1 minute 10 second lead. And unfortunately, in the overtime, they just couldn't make it past that first capture mark. Now, we'll see whether or not after a dominant point number 1 and then a very close point number 2 in the first map where they were able to take it 2-0, Mount Pleasant Area Vikings will be able to come back, reverse this game, or whether or not Franklin Regional will be able to bring back that coveted sweep of a 2-1 comeback.
That's the question. That's the big takeaway right now is, can Franklin Regional hold on to that fire that propelled them through game 2 and hold on to some of the trash talk that Mount Pleasant wanted to rip in game chat? And if that is enough to spark a bit of inspiration in this Franklin Regional roster, I mean, the way they played in that last game, this is a team that can absolutely go the distance and take this game 3. They looked fantastic offensively. Their team fights were just as stalwart as what Mount Pleasant was bringing to the table. And this is going to come down to just, I guess, comp difference at the end of the day. We'll see what the picks and bans do look like. Again, out Spider-Man, out Hella. Get rid of Scarlet Witch, which wasn't too much of a factor, but I think the Strange ban for Mount Pleasant is a good call. And we'll go ahead and lock in Penny and Rocket. So expect the mines and the free ammo to be a problem for sure. The Mount Pleasant Area Vikings are going to have to deal with. There is no other choice. You can't get around it. Between Heisenberg and 365 Gamer, that front line and that mid-range, once the team fight gets going, is going to be a nightmare. They're going to have to deal with it.
You know what I just learned, Spaceman?
What'd you just learn?
Apparently, I had this stream muted the entire time. Oh no. So that's why I couldn't hear anything. I was so
now you can wait. So now you can hear all the game.
I could not hear the game at all.
Amazing.
Now I can. Hooray!
That's amazing.
Well, yeah. So we're all good. We can see Mateo sticking to the Hulk, not going back to the thing like what we saw them being very proficient on earlier on within this current series. But I like it. I think this is a good pick for them. They were able to really put some pressure on in overtime. Mount Pleasant Area Vikings going with their tried and true.
That tree is a
See if it works. I'll take a little tried and true. Just something to switch it up. I'll also take a much closer fare offensively from Mount Pleasant Area Vikings, knowing how that last game went, and specifically some of the disappointments that were left on the field with the lack of ults invested. Very curious how they will turn things around here. Try to go with the fastball special to begin. And I was luckily enough able to catch Iron Fist in the process. We're going to get very aggressive right now on Emma Frost. But other than that, it's been a pretty standard opening for Mount Pleasant Area Vikings, and I'm surprised at the lack of deterrence we've seen from Franklin Regional when it comes to the opening lane.
They've been very good. Mateo going to be pushing up pretty aggressive. We see Fisherman as well going to be playing from the back line, trying to get the shots on in, connecting a couple. Looking to make a good play to get the smoke screen through the damage as they burn their opponents to the ground. So far, nobody falls except for one player on the side of Franklin Regional. Jax is off the board, but right now they keep on going in. The stellar jump work as Mateo goes on in. Stun comes out, trying to get the kill. Still, consecutive punches are going to lead to them having to find 2 kills, and Mount Pleasant Area going to be on the back foot for sure, but not for long, as Notborn again still going to be able to find a kill. Jack's going to be able to get the next Master going in as they keep on finding the value. Mateo jumping through with the Wolverine in tow, but right now Mateo keeps on punching towards the back line. 3 players pushed onto them, needing to get something more, but right now they just can't do it as Mount Pleasant Area keeping getting staggered back.
Rush down? No fastball. Okay, takes care quickly of Punisher. So Final Judgment was a bit of a panic move here. And once again, this fastball special that just helps disrupt the tempo of the fight. Allows Hulk to get in for the cleanup. Cosmic Arnie Amplifier will allow Hulk to go one-on-one against Emma. And the payload continues to move. There's the Gamma Stun. It does miss just a bit wide. Still trying to take some fights. and then we'll dip back out. So there's a lot of chaos happening right now, and not a lot of advantage being gained for Franklin Regional. It is still up to Mount Pleasant's defense to kind of maintain this pressure and keep everybody contained, as they're doing it. That's about it.
Now, a lot of kills coming on out as this Hulk is dropping the HP down to 300. Looking to get back on into fray sooner rather than later. But we are going to be seeing this ult, a frenzy of bullets raining down from the heavens. As the kill is going to be there, we're going to be seeing Not Born Again getting the next onto Fisherman. Dildo Mateo pushing in. Stun comes out. Going to have to concede the engagement. Pushing over to try and support their teammates. But right now it's going to be the Iron Fist trying to back out, but right now the flank is going to be a little bit inevitable as there is the kill. Not Born Again still able to find one towards the point as we're going to be taking a look towards Mateo trying to get one down on the flank.
Really good pry out from the Hulk here. Silent Seduction will zone point. There goes Jeff. Cosmic Yarn will keep the monster alive. Trying to go for the rush down. Playing in a 1v2 from the back. Take it 2 on Jeff. Intergalactic Legends can have to spray out quickly. And this is all just down to one-on-ones, and Hulk trying to throw everything in the kitchen sink at Iron Fist in the process, but I don't know if it's enough. I don't know if they have the damage output to be able to get this one moving. 4-stack, 3-stack onto zone. Mount Pleasant area Vikings are not letting up, and they are absolutely pushing this offense back.
Pleasant area Vikings, it's exactly as you said. They're starting to be able to mitigate their opponents and their pressure. As 365 Gamer getting shut down, Mateo going to be able to find the trade, but right now it's going to be the last couple players needing to back out. You need to find a good team fight. This is only 20 seconds remaining. We see the Wolverine going for an aggressive stance, but right now it's just so difficult. Jack's going to be able to find the first. Jack's getting a double kill.
This is the only turnaround you'd expect. You need it now, though. You don't have a lot of time to work with here. 6 seconds to go on the clock. They're going to take some prio onto the penny mines. They got to stay on the payload now. You just have to stay alive. Try to go for the reach. Can't hunt down Jeff. Still going. But just keep Wolverine up. Keep him as a bull in a china shop right now on zone. We'll try to deal with the rest. You have Berserker Rage. Should you elect to use it, you might not need to. GG's. That is the first point locked up. And a nice job for Franklin Regional.
Yeah, it seems as if they might even get a stagger pick for their efforts, and seems to be the case. Yes, it will be, as Dalton is going to be shut down by Jax to get another kill. They are going to be able to take the point as well. So it's as you said, they're going to be able to get this at least a little bit further. 2 minutes remaining on the clock as Mount Pleasant area Vikings going to have to try once more to be able to shut them down.
It does feel like every time Mount Pleasant, get in a position to let the clock bleed out, they end up finding themselves in these 50-50 situations of just simply needing to exert more ults than they're able to spend, and it just feels like they're 1 or 2 plays away from being able to close out this game. But Star-Lord's gonna have to clean up a couple in the back line. Does so. Takes out Invisible-Man. Hulk trying to go on the rampage. Hulk trying to go for the cleanup. Unable to find much. Star-Lord's able to escape into the back. Takes a 1-on-1 against Phoenix. Spy some time to steal attention away from the fight. Rocket takes the peel. And it's all quiet right now on the points as, once again, the defense stands up.
Does seem like they want to try and stagger out this Hulk for at least a little bit, but exiled away. And be able to back out in the nick of time. But right now, the aggression is still coming right on back into the fray. We're going to be getting the first kill coming on in. Dalton shutting down 365 Gamer, trying to get a little bit more value as the Hulk's diving into the back line. Jack's shut down. No more Wolverine means that it's going to be a little bit harder to do much. And right now, the whole kill feed scoring in blue.
Come to the defense now. Race the ults. Get Iron Fist. Well, a little bit over aggressive from Star-Lord here. I was expecting a little bit longer of a flank and peel, but try to get real close to those mines. Again, Jeff's gonna go in, try to take care of the back line. You have Rocket as well. You have Sonic Seduction slowly being worked on. Iron Fist to invest. Yarn Amplifier will keep everybody up.
go back on in 1-for-1 trade already being seen. They want to try and get a little bit more. We see the invisible ult coming on through. Heisenberg finding one, looking to get a little bit more value, but it's going to be even more of a rampage from Mateo. We saw them as the MVP last game. This game, they want to try and regain that title. Being snared away, dropping in the ultimate, looking to make something go their favor, but not for it again with the ultimate. Dropping their opponents into the ground as overtime has been reached, and Mount Pleasant area Vikings seems to have been able to hold off their opponents.
Yeah, there was a chance for the BRB Beacon to make an impact on this fight, but I just don't think it was down in time. Wolverine's just trying to stay around. Berserker Rage on the Penny, able to pick up 2. Thanks for help from Phoenix. Hold on, the offense stays alive, and the offense is able to clear. Everybody else will fall back. Emma Frost, Rocket out of the play. Franklin Regional once again down a couple of numbers, find a way to pull themselves back into this round and keep the payload moving.
How they were able to do that is beyond me, but they make the impossible possible. They were down 2 players, and yet they still come out on top. Amazing work coming in from Franklin Regional. Will they be able to leverage this into a game win? There's the first kill. 365 Gamer able to shut down the first as Grace is down for the count. We still look towards Jax just brawling across the battlefield, as we're going to be getting a little bit more damage, going for a bit of a flank, trying to get this next player shut down with the Iron Fist. Low HP, but they keep running for the hills and not going to be able to do much. Jax forced to get back on towards the payload. Now we're going to be taking a look. We see 365 Gamers taking a duel, forced into the air, looking to try and get something done, but right now he's just not able to shut down Dalton, staying alive so long, so heavily, but finally 365 Gamer able to end the duel. There's the Jeff ult, able to find the value, but not for long as they get taken down. We see the trade coming in, Fisherman off the board, and that might just do it.
Yeah, Psionic Seduction, which could make an impact here, but Penny has been excellent in this fight. She has taken out the Emma. She has taken out Star-Lord's positioning. She has taken out the push from the very far back of Jeff. It has been all tempo pacing up front and all setting the standard for your main tank. Nicely done all the way around. We'll buy ourselves another minute on the clock again. Franklin Regional, good lord, are finding themselves in these precarious situations where they still find ways to win, which is just testament to the, again, team fight resolve competency of the roster, sure, but does call into question for Mount Pleasant area Vikings. This game could have been over 3 or 4 times by now. They have yet to be able to put it away, and for the offense for Franklin Regional, they now have a chance to kind of steal it.
When it matters most, Franklin Regional's been able to find the value. Jax is able to find a double kill. It looks like they're going to want to try and slam this game done once and for all. They're already going in even further. It's looking like Neon Neeks. We saw them on the Hella. This time they're looking for sure even better on this swap, adapting to the current meta. And now Mount Pleasant area Vikings is going to have to take another challenge. Mateo ulting on in, and that's going to allow them to leverage this into an even higher deficit. We see Beanto Ball taking offline. Snared once more. Mateo dropped to half HP, but they're down off their ultimate, and they keep on getting sprayed. Staying alive, dodging backwards. Jax finds one, Neon Neeks finds the second, and they keep on going into the battlefield. Jeff off the map, and that's going to leave Raish as well to be discovered.
We would love to have the Strange Portal at some point here. You're not going to get it, but man, would it feel good. You have Penny's Mines. They got to make a play here. You got no choice but to stack. You will get the Gamma Stun. We'll get a knock-up. Here come the Penny Mines. This is your last-ditch effort. This is your chance. Not really doing much. Cosmic Yarn gonna shut down the damage from the mines. And now it's just a cluster on zone. Now it's just down to fisticuffs. Hulk's gonna drop. Thor's up next. Odin Force doesn't really get much in that exchange, but Visible Boundary will cut off the rest of the zone. And back to a simple team fight we go.
Coming off a lot of value. Jax able to find the first. They want to get the second. It's going to be not available for them just yet. Having to deal with utility very much in play. Jax able to get the next kill. It's a double for them. And they want to keep on bringing in the value, bringing in the punches. But right now, the ultimate's going to be there for Franklin Regional High School. They keep on going aggressive. There's the Jeff ult coming into play. Able to collect a couple players. But right now, it's Mateo securing the next. The Jeff falling off the map, and they take 3 with them.
Oh my god. Of course it's Jeff to make a play in the end. Wolverine has to stay up, has to go into Berserker Rage just to keep the health up. It's not going to matter. Mount Pleasant area Vikings do clear the point just at the finish line, and they will get themselves a chance to win this series outright. 111.05 meters is what's needed. Just 0.01 inches, basically, to get this one done. We'll have 4 minutes on the clock. That was about as close of a you have 30, 40 different lives down the wire as we would expect from Mount Pleasant area Vikings, but this is now their chance to put their offense into the conversation. And for Franklin Regional, I mean, they did everything they realistically could do. It just came down to getting swallowed up by Jeff, and sometimes you can't do much against that.
A masterclass performance dominating this series. Oh my gosh. I mean, it's this Jeff. We've seen Sewer doing some good stuff so far, being that consistently decent player for Mount Pleasant area Vikings throughout this series, but at the end result, when it matters most, they come in, find a 3K with the ult, and that's just absurd. You can't be letting that happen if you're Franklin Regional High School, but how do you stop it? It's just so difficult to be able to get these Jeff offline, and I think at this point you got to imagine that that should be able to at least give them some consolation points no matter how this series ends.
5, 4, 3, 2,
Surely not the fastball off rip into spawn. Surely not. Surely not. That's a risky play as well. Usually back in like season 1.5 to 2.5, we'd see teams kind of throw for the kidnap up high into the air, allow Wolverine to float down slowly, and then try to take the strategist in the back. This time we're just knuckling it right into the front line. Waste no time at all. And we'll see what the defense can do here. Franklin Regional gonna have to put everything in the kitchen sink up front. Mount Pleasant area Vikings gonna have to deal with that pressure, and Magneto is not long for this fight.
Unfortunately, Jax is going to have to really expend utility coming on into the fray. Going to go back on through. Right now, the Mateo's in the front lines with them, both trying to brawl it out, trying to get the advantage. We do see Mateo holding the Wolverine in hand. Jax going to be thrown across as both players continuing to dominate the battlefield, but not for long. Jax off the board. Mateo dropped to 600 HP. So many players right on their tail. But as of now, it's going to be the backline they have to worry about. Looking to go for a bit of heal. But the rest of the team of Mount Pleasant able to start pushing up after Mateo's back-footing push. But right now, Franklin Regional, they keep strong. Despite losing Jax, they want to keep this hold in play.
Oh, we'll get a boundary. We'll get silent seduction. So at least counter. Jeff. Oh, Jeff could steal a couple. Jeff could steal a couple, and he will. Hulk continues to stay involved. And Rocket picks up Jeff. So what turns from basically 3 title pools into 0 extra effort on zone is now just down to red kills in the kill feed. All perfect for Regional. Franklin have looked great. Get a bubble shield just quickly. Mr. Fantastic. Trying to zone, but really not landing on the mark at all. And Mount Pleasant area Vikings, again, another instance where they have a look at the zone, but getting pushed back by this defense. 2 minutes, 8 seconds on the clock. Franklin Regional are looking great.
Franklin Regional pushing in, trying to find this aggressive push. The stance is looking nice from them, but right now, Mount Pleasant area Vikings going to have to try and make some kind of new adaptation. But look at this. Jax on the shoulder, going to go aggressive, finding one. They've dropped the ult and they instantly find success as they keep on pushing through. They want to on the pressure as they are going to be able to do just that. Mount Pleasant area Vikings going to be really leveraged into their spawn room.
There's nowhere to go. There's just nowhere to go. Now we're going to draw some Venn diagrams with the invisible boundary. We're going to hope that this is the win con. I don't know if it'll do enough. You're not even close to the Meteor M. You're not quite close enough to Silent Seduction to make this team fight viable. They're getting closer. You're just trying to race the ult charge. Cosmic Yarn has entered play. Another rush down quickly from Hulk and Wolverine combining again to keep the midline closed. This is just perfect execution all the way around from the defense. Silent Seduction has to pop now. And here it comes.
Oh, they're gonna go in. Franklin Regional dropping in the first ultimate. Looking to make something happen. Beans down. 365 Gamer able to pick up the kill. They're gonna be getting the 365 Gamer ulting as a penny. Looking to make something done, but they go in aggressively. They're gonna drop in a little bit more. Rice, what are they going into? And Rice is just gonna be able to drop in the meteor. Not gonna be able to get too much. 365 Gamer picks up the next kill. And as of now, Mount Pleasant area Vikings, they're still down individuals. The Iron Fist is off the board. Jax is down. Neon Nyx is able to get the trade. Stewart down for the count, and it's going to leave Race in a little bit of a rough spot. Going for a bit of a flank, and now the rest of the team is going to drop. Franklin Regional High School not down yet. Still having to deal with this team. At 5 seconds, they start pushing this cart.
If that is not indicative of the entire series of last-ditch effort on points into a overtime push, I don't know what is. This has been back and forth for all, trying to solo out the strategist. Hulk can't land the clap nor the gamma charge. Now on the chase down, Hulk trying to get some damage in, isn't able to help out. Never mind, I lied. Excuse me, isn't able to get the throw off of Wolverine. And congrats to Hulk and Wolverine combining to take down Jeff in the process. So it was a risky call, but certainly one of them from Mount Pleasant area Vikings. There goes the invisible boundary. There goes the rest. All members inside. We got 3v3 right now on point.
That's a looking unfortunate. Mount Pleasant area Vikings going to be dropping as they didn't get to play this fight with their Jeff. It's going to be a little bit rough. Jax, they will find the first. They want to go for a second. We see the Hulk ultimate coming on the line. They dominate the battlefield hand in hand. The Raccoon dropping ult as well. Recent patches have buffed the ultimate, and it's going to allow them to get this even further. Right now, Jax is going to be the main one into the foray, trying to go domination style on this team as they get the double kill. And Fishermen picking up a double kill of their own. Franklin Regional High School convert the reverse sweep to take this series 2-1.
Wow, that double was the nail in the coffin, and GG's all the way around. The zone from Hulk to knock back the Emma Frost. Peels off the LOS from Jeff, takes care of the front tank, then you're just dealing on a one-on-one against Magneto. It was GG easy from there. Congratulations to the Hulk and the Wolverine for taking over in that OT. Nice job all the way around, and I'm sure some of the trash talk has lived up to its pedigree as we have closed out this series 2-1 for Franklin Regional, as they will take it in game 3. And that was, again, one of the closest best of threes we have ever seen here this season. 43-11 from your Hulk player, 39-9-3 with 21 final hits. And again, a lot of those came in the third round overtime against those two tanks. And that was just perfect play from the defense. Franklin Regional, GG's all the way around. They'll take the series. Surprising one for sure, but it did feel like with everything that Mount Pleasant left on the table, Franklin Regional's defensively was just too good.
It really was. They continually were just such a strong team. You really got to give it down towards some of these dueling based characters. I think the Wolverine, the Hulk, both of them were superstars in that third game, especially were some of the main reasons Franklin Regional were able to take this in such dominant form. Spaceman, you got to imagine Franklin Regional is going to be a team to contest with in the PIEA 2025-2026 school year, as everyone on this roster just looks so dominant. The only time they lost a map this game was when it was a 5v6. So who knows? Maybe there was a world where that sixth person doesn't come back, but at least in this one, that didn't happen.
We're going to send them to the Shadow Realm real quick. We'll get them out of the play for sure. But no, like, you're absolutely right. Look, this is a roster that it felt like it's fair to say in this series we watched Franklin Regional bend quite a bit. They didn't break at times when their backs were against the wall. And it was nice to see a team that was down a member in game 1, which started about, it felt like an hour ago, has now come back around and taken it here in OT in game 3, and done so through defensive effort alone. Like they did what they had to do offensively. Defensively, though, they made the right decision on their composition. Hulk and Wolverine were fantastic when it came to isolating Jeff, and it just felt like this was a squad that was inevitable when it came to winning the team fight. After a while, they were weathering the storm so much. This was such a good win for Franklin Regional. This was a fantastic showing for them. We'll make sure that, again, we get more love over to Mount Pleasant area Vikings. We hope to see them eventually play in the future. Remember, folks, this weekend, there's a LAN coming up in Pennsylvania called LAN of Steel. If you want to get involved, you can, and it's free entry. By the way, in the area of LAN tournaments, it is rare to have a free admission LAN. LAN of Steel will be opening up at 8 a.m. on the 18th. That's in 2 days. That is Saturday. Scan the QR code on your screen. and you can go ahead and get yourself some information about how to get involved with the Land of Steel, or head to www.eventbrite.com/e/Land of Steel Open, and then the esports event registration. You can follow all those links available. There's going to be some around in the Twitch chat, as well as the Twitch description, where you can find all those links. Scan the QR code, Land of Steel, get involved at the local level. Cherry J, you know that that local lands are the bread and butter, the ecosystem of esports, and a chance to compete on Marvel Rivals on LAN is a very rare opportunity, and we encourage all players to get involved.
Well, I can tell you this much, Spaceman. I know that this is going to be a big event. Unfortunately, you know, I know I won't be there, but you know who is going to be there? Yo Boy Q is going to be there. So certainly everyone's got to pop out for the GOAT himself. But ladies and gentlemen, another thing is it is also going to be at RMU, a beautiful college, if I may say so myself. I know that it is also going to be PIEA, code PIEA, say it once with me, code PIEA for free admission at the Land of Steel, as you could probably find that in the QR code, but it is also just an important thing to know, as I needed to explain that to my teammates like 4 times to tell them that is how you do it. I know they got Fortnite, Smash Bros, other games, probably Mario Kart. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in any type of esports, make sure to head down to Pittsburgh on October 18th for a little bit of esports gaming. But Spaceman, yeah, I got my sister's birthday that day, so I can't be there no matter what. But that's just going to be me. Yep. And yeah, so it's tragic, I know.
I was gonna roll you across the coals there, but now you know what? That's fair. You have a legitimate excuse. All the rest of you, though, in chat or around the world, you don't. So go ahead, scan a QR code, get to the LAN. We hope to see you there if you want to maintain your career or build a career in esports, whether as a player, as a coach, as a back-end producer, caster, whatever it is. The best way to get started is to work at a local. So go get involved, free admission. We can't encourage it enough. We thank you all so much for joining us here for some Marvel Rivals today. That was 2 series up and down, 2 best of 3s, and we finally went the distance. Cherry J, final thoughts today as we closed out with Franklin Regional and Mount Pleasant Area Vikings. You wanted us to go game 3, and we did. How you feeling?
Well, it certainly is going to be a world of ups and a world of down. We got to see the first BO3 go to 3 maps in Division 2 of Marvel Rivals, but on a little bit of a lower note, we did not get to see Hempfield versus Hollidaysburg, which is definitely a disappointment. We are going to be closing out the stream. It's so sad, Spaceman. I had a whole thing lined up for what I wanted to say about them. The battle of the mid Pennsylvania teams, is both of them are pretty central. Yeah, there's like one that's like, I don't know, like pretty central east, one that's pretty central west, but none that are to the coast, none near Pittsburgh, none near Philadelphia. Unfortunately,
well, that's good. We don't like Philly. Yeah. As a local DMV guy, I don't like Philly. No, I'm a Washington D.C. guy. Oh my god.
No. Oh, I'm like an hour from Philly.
No, Cherry. No, that's okay.
I know. It's tragic, but it's okay. Yeah.
It's all right. Listen, if you're from the area, pull up. We got a LAN going on. Even if you're not local, if you're in Pennsylvania but you're not around Land of Steel, take a bus, take a train, take a trip, take a friend. You never know. Just go find a way to get involved at the local area. Land of Steel. It's coming up this weekend on the 18th. Again, 8 a.m. registration time, free admission. Go check out more information on the QR code. Also, roll back the VOD on the stream and find that QR code to scan. And we thank you all so much for playing today. From the players on the back end, for all teams that showed up at the best of 3s, from Jerry J, myself, production on the back end, again, all the managers and people responsible for this stream. I want to thank you so much for continuing to support Marvel Rivals. We'll have more games going on for the rest of the week, so make sure to stay tuned here at the Esports Company here at PIEA 01, 2, and 3. And for the rest of the matches, you can find more information available in the Twitch description. We thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Much love to you.
I'm sick of fighting the things that you said. I don't wanna burn all our bridges ahead. I'm tired of going to bed when you left me on red just to turn up the noise in my head. I told you that one day ain't never enough. You tell me I hate you, I still call you up. If we don't got trust, we can never have love. I was putting in the hours, I was. You were calling me a liar, liar.